And guys, do not forget, as soon as the game finishes, we will be going live on YouTube and reviewing Game 3, The Decider. You don't want to miss it. There's always drama in The Decider. That's on YouTube. Myself, Hammy, and Dor will be there, and also Maddie as well. So make sure to join us straight after the game.
Just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. Don't forget NordVPN Defense Play of the Week. It'll be in the show. And also, guys, Pizza Hut is back. Pizza Hut is back. You make sure to stay tuned for halftime in Origin. Some big things happen over at Pizza Hut, and that makes me stoked. You know why it makes me stoked? Because I remember as a little kid, Robina Town Centre, Pizza Hut, all you can eat. Honestly, goated stuff. Goated stuff. So all you young whippersnappers, you don't know the full force of Pizza Hut. It's coming, and it's coming in a big way. So stay tuned for that. And if you're staying in for the big game, make sure you get Pizza Hut sorted for the whole crew. They've got some great value deals, such as 2 large pizzas and 2 sides, $26.95, or 3 large pizzas, 3 sides for $35.95. Crazy value. Also, if you want to win a voucher, we're giving away 5 vouchers. That is 3 free large pizzas and 3 free sides. All you have to do is leave a comment of your happiest memory in Pizza Hut. That's all. That's all we're going to do. And then we're going to pick 5 people randomly to send the voucher to, hopefully before kickoff, so that you can get some Pizza Hut to your place watching the big game. Some great memories, guys. Some great memories. Pizza Hut, as I said, all you young whippersnappers, you don't know Pizza Hut in all its glory. It's coming back in a big, big way. So stay tuned for halftime Origin to see that. And yeah, leave your happiest memory in the comment section. We will randomly pick 5 to give away the vouchers to. Head to pizzahut.com.au, or you can grab it on the app in regards to those deals I read out before. Okay, it's time for the team of the week. At fullback, we've got Iongi. On the wings, we've got Jenkins and Katoa. In the centers, we've got Holmes and Ito. 6, we've got Volkman. 7, Hines. Up the front row, we've got Liam Henry and Couchman, Toby Couchman. At 9, Crossland. On the edges, we've got Egan and Dylan Lucas. At 13, Lindsay Smith. 14, Dylan Walker. 15, Ryan Couchman, Loco Pacifica at 16, and Billy Burns at 17. Few unlucky ones to miss out. Alamotti was great. Calhoun was great. Plus, I'm sure I'm missing some other guys who were also great and unlucky to miss. Boys, just before we get into the round review, Origin is upon us, 2 days away. Roo, how are we feeling?
I'm nervous. We've got a team that can do it, but just based on what we've shown so far this series, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I am very nervous about this game, going up there to Suncorp Stadium. I'm not feeling great.
Okay, Tommy?
Just hopeful, Campy. Just hopeful. I think every question that I've had about it hasn't been answered. So I think at this point you just got to hold on and just hope for the state. You know what I mean? And there's two sides to this. There's the there's the Blues fan in me, and then there's also like obviously I drink from the fountain of content. So I think even from that point of view, Blues winning is way funnier and way more interesting.
Yeah, okay. Because like this hesitancy you have right now, you can pretend that didn't happen and be like, fuck, I always knew the boys would win.
Well, the thing is, if we don't win, like everyone knows what the narrative is. If we win, the narrative is still the same, but the difference is we've won. So it's kind of like everyone has to sort of hold back a bit. A bit like a more exacerbated example of what happened with the Broncos last year. You know, where there was a certain narrative and it's sort of like has come to fruition this year, but they still won the comp.
Yeah,
so even though people try and go hard in the paint, but there's still an aspect of fuck off, we won.
Yeah, like in regards to Madge.
Yes,
like,
that's right.
Okay. How are you feeling, Hammy?
I'm feeling good.
Okay.
I think it'll be a little bit of a low-key meltdown if Queensland don't get it done. So I'm really not worried. If there wasn't a send-off in game 1, job done, very convincing in the last game, and it's up at Suncorp. So
okay,
I'm feeling good.
Low-key meltdown because you don't
That'd be a meltdown.
care, or?
It'd be a meltdown if they didn't win.
Okay.
So
I totally, I can't believe I've forgotten this, but Face Music, sorry, mate.
how are you feeling?
Yeah.
Before we did Face Music, you feeling good or?
I told you, it's content year, baby. It's all ratings.
No, Origin, just Origin specific though. You feeling good?
Oh, am I feeling about Origin?
Yeah.
I'd say 60-40. 60-40 in Queensland's favour. I understand why Blues fans would feel a lack of hope, but every Origin is different and every game is different. And this is an all or nothing team. And I do envision if the Blues are to score, are to win.
Be a good start.
There is they get field position, they cross field kick, they use that to their advantage. Maybe they rattle a winger or something like that with the high balls. But I think that there's some internal stuff. Like I know he's come out and said that, he doesn't know what he's doing, and maybe that is still the case, but I do get a feeling that it might be Billy Slater's last Origin. Get a feeling maybe even Munster might be looking and going, okay, it's always about putting the state first. We've got Sam Walker, we've got Dearden now, we've got some other guys that if their form continues to go well can sort it out. So I do feel like there might be some internal motivations for Queensland. So I'd say 60-40. 60-40. If Queensland just go with them for the first 60, I do think at that 60-minute mark, New South Wales will eventually start looking across from each other, getting nervous, going, oh, okay, like those nightmares from game 1 and 2, I know they won in game 1, will start coming to their mind. I don't know if Blues have enough confidence or belief in what they need to do it for 80 minutes. But if they come out and get some quick points early, all of a sudden they're instilled with this tails up, oh, fuck, ambush is happening. Whereas if it's like the 60-minute mark, we're ahead, 18-12 with momentum, I think they might pack it in.
I think I'm with you. I think it'll be one Billy Slater's last game. I think it'll be Cam Munster's last as well. I think he is looking around the room and, Sammy Walker's come in and owned the arena. Tom Dearden's done it the last few years. I reckon Munster's just going to give everything he's got to the Melbourne Storm in the last year or two. So I think with those two things, I also think the other thing, like it's fucking, I actually read this in a press release last week and I thought, oh, that is fantastic. That's unreal. Then there was a little sky blue part of me when I read Jai Arrow's going to walk out the Shield. And I thought, okay, so Queensland, when they run out, that's essentially going to be the last thing they see before they get on that field is Jai. And I also think that is going to take them to another fucking
Absolutely.
Fantastic to see. I love it. But as a Blues fan, it scares the shit out of me, Kempy.
Okay, fair enough. I do think that for the Blues, like obviously, aside from the Jai Arrow situation, if you ever needed ammo, there's been so much ammo this week to use. Like if you ever needed ammo to get up for a big game and ambush someone, as I said, I'm not talking about similar to the Jai Arrow situation, but I'm just talking about, mate, the headlines have been everywhere for you to be able to use and go, we are the underdogs, we have the chip on our shoulder, everyone's writing us off. Let's go up and ambush. It's there.
You know what we could have done, Campy? I was thinking about this the other day. You know how there's been a lot made of, like, obviously Brian Toto being left out and, like, the yarn about the height. When you think about game 1, what was the main reason that you would say the Blues won?
I personally think that is won because Kalen Ponga got sent off.
High tackle, right?
Yeah.
So could you have just picked the shortest side possible? Just go with a team full of 5'3" guys and just hope that you can just coerce.
We're picking Reggie the Rabbit on the left wing.
Just coerce.
And everyone's just ducking into tackle. Just running. Oh, fuck.
He's dropped his shortest player. So
you know what I mean?
He's gone the torque.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They've gone the other way.
Yeah.
You could have actually fully leaned into it.
We probably dropped our 3 shortest, right? Kohler, Toto,
Bring Chris Sando out of retirement, sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's good stuff.
Too late now, but yeah.
All right, let's face the music. Brought to you by our friends over at Sportsbet. Give us a follow on the feed, as usual.
Here's a follow on the feed. I just want to plug a quick market or a quick hub that's gone up in the last day or two. So Milky Jenkins is on fire at the moment. A triple on the weekend again. Outrageous 25 tries across 16 games. So we've got the utterly, spelled udder, shout out to Cows, unstoppable Tom Jenkins try hub. I think it's a bit of a play on the Milky Jenkins kind of through line there. A few Milky Jenkins related markets. We've got Milky to equal or break the all-time tries record in the regular season, which is 38 tries by Dave Brown in 1935. It was $3.60 yesterday. It's into $3 now. There's a couple of other markets. One I don't mind is Milky Jenkins to score 1 or more try in each remaining regular season game for the Panthers between round 20 and 27. That'll get you $51.
Oh, wow.
He's been playing some great footy. So go and check it out. You find it in the NRL Weekly Hub section of the app. But yeah, he's playing some great footy, Milky Jenkins.
Okay.
Pleasure to watch. All right, face the music. I did a little bit of extra homework last week. I've gone back and added up all of Tommy Bomb's tips over the last few weeks since he's been submitting them, and I've added them on top of Timmy Williams' tips. So bearing in mind, there's probably about an 8-week gap here. So just be interesting to see if he might be able to mow anyone down across the rest of the season. All right, let's get into it. So Panthers.
How good's the content been this year, though? Like when we really sit back and think about it, the content's the winner, the real winner.
So good. Premiership hangovers, both in face the music and in the competition proper.
I'm training too hard.
Clearly.
I'm watching too much footy.
Clearly you are. Ease off a little bit.
Just before you get into it, just have a look at Tom Jenkins. At the moment, he's scoring 1.6 tries per game. If he keeps doing that for the rest of the season, that'll get him 37.8 tries, around that up to that 38 mark. Mate, I reckon there's a chance he gets to 40. I really do.
Wow. 40s. Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. Especially in the modern game as well, because that's 1930 or something like that
Mate, Brian Toto on the right wing is catching a cold. None of the football goes there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Milky Jenkins, how good. And couldn't get a run, buddy, at the Knights Reggies. So, makes you think, doesn't it?
Good cup side, to be fair.
Great cup sides. Chiller.
Obviously.
List goes on. All right, face the music. So Panthers 36 defeat Souths 14. I got a little bit too cute. I had the Panthers 1-12, missed out there. Denon, you took Penrith head-to-head. Well done. Rue and Tommy both had Penrith -2.5.
Sharp.
Dragons 24 defeat Tigers 10. One of the great poo slingers of the season.
Nah, classic match.
Well, why'd you tip the Tigers then?
I was just trying. You were having a tough, week last week, so I was trying to help you out, mate.
It's interesting here. You tipped the Tigers, and then on Morning Glory, you made a big point of saying, "Oh, the Dragons will pump the Tigers."
Oh, well,
So which one is it?
Splinters Kempy, huh?
Yeah.
No,
Both sides of the fence.
Well, okay, hang on a sec. If you go, you see, he's clickbaiting you. He's clickbaiting and he's taking things out of context.
That's good content, but
Yeah, it is good content, but it's a clickbait because I was obviously just trying to get under his skin on Morning Glory. And that's why I was saying Dragons will pump because he was saying that the Broncos are going to get pumped, which unfortunately did occur.
But that was a legitimate tip from me. Anyway, make sure you go and listen to Morning Glory, particularly if you want to hear who doesn't know who Paul Hogan is as well. Very interesting stuff. I'm Australian. All right. Anyway, everyone got around the Tigers, so no points for anybody. Tommy, you had golden point. You were looking pretty good for maybe a 0-0 draw there at one point. But unfortunately, the Dragons ran away with it.
Classic.
Broncos 16 defeated by Sharks 28. I had Sharks 13 plus. I was robbed by a junk time Dean Mariner try at the end. Rue, you had the Sharks 1-12, $3.05 for you. Matty had the Sharks -5.5. So those are the only points out of that game. Eels 23 defeat Manly 14. Everyone had a bit of Fosball love here. Nobody saw the Riles ball upset coming, so no points for anyone in that game. And then to bring us home, Knights 13 defeat the Finns 12. Denon and Tommy had the Knights 1-12 for $3.30. No points for anybody else.
We get it.
Who had the Finns. All right, so the round 18 results are as follows. Tommy, $5.20 out in front. Denon, $4.98.
That's I do my best work, seriously. And the pressure's on. We get counted out. I'm all about the content, but I just decided to,
Pressure's on in round
Flex
18.
the muscles, buy around football.
Yeah.
Stands up. Rue, $4.95. Matty, $1.90. Myself, nudie run. Not my best.
Holy shit. So after all that trip last week, you get a new.
Yep. But I know who Paul Hogan is, and I'm still coming second overall.
Holy shit. So your team gets pounded by the bottom of the ladder and you don't get any. Wow. It's a tough week. That's a tough week.
Your team who won the comp last year is paying $81, not to win the comp, to make the eight. To make the eight. How embarrassing.
Holy shit, Benji ball.
Overall, Rue, $136.06. Myself, $131.40.
Lost the lead, by the way. Lost the lead.
Yeah, shit the bed.
Yeah, shit the bed. Can't handle the pressure at the top.
Matty, $117.93. Daylight. Denon, $78.06.
I'm coming.
Tommy combo, bearing in mind there's an 8-week gap of no tips at all, $64.17. Within striking distance.
Heaps of room.
Within striking distance.
What's the difference there? What like 12?
$14.
I'm coming, bud, as well. I'm 2 for
Big
3.
time.
So I'm
Won this
coming.
round.
How good's the content, though? Like, when you really think about it, though, like,
The content's
how
exceptional.
funny, we're all laughing, like, fuck, then I can't tip, when we all know I can. And this guy's come in 8 weeks, it's funny, it's good, great
Hey,
content.
you've done a great job.
You know what I mean?
And it's a testament to you.
I get content at times.
Yeah, that time, yeah. It's been great. So keep it up, and hopefully Tommy can catch you. That would be just the shit icing on the turd cake that has been the Broncos 2026 season.
You can tell the nudie run hurt him. It hurt him after.
What did you guys agree on last week? Did you agreed on like the nudie run?
No, it was the.
Nudie run in the clown kit. If you went,
No.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
No, I don't think it
at
was.
Campbelltown Stadium on Friday night.
But
And you can't do it because you're emceeing. So we should just
hopefully.
start from last week and then backfill.
Okay. All right, that's Face the Music brought to you by Sportsbet. Stay tuned for the end of the show tips. Anything else just quickly on Origin before we move on, boys?
No, I
Kind of said all we need to say.
I think it's sort of.
Say your prayers.
Just quickly, I know it's been spoken about forever, but how do you reckon the bench get used? Who misses out? Because Laurie's shown a propensity to he treats it as a 6-man bench, not a 4-man bench with some extra guys. Who do you think will miss out on that?
Who will come on and play 9 minutes?
The way that I see it playing out, I think Liam Martin will go hard for the first 30 odd minutes or so. I think Olakau'atu will come on at that point. I think then Liam Martin will go back to the bench and he will play that Victor Radley sort of role. So I think you'll see Cam Murray, Olakawatu, Blake Brayley, and Strange used off that bench. I think Aden Fanua-Blake and Tolu Kola will be the ones to miss out.
So Strange to come on at 13?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Are we expecting Cam Murray to start? Are we?
I'm not
Put a Swifty on you.
Yeah, you got us.
Gotcha, Queensland.
I actually, did I say it when you were here? I was like, the greatest thing, Laurie, let's say you do win at Suncorp. The greatest thing you could ever do would be come into the press conference and go, listen, I was actually watching some video and Cam Murray, fucking great starter of rugby league. That would be one of the greatest fucking trolls of all
All
time.
I hope is that an hour before kickoff when those team lists come in, Billy Slater's already sitting down.
Yeah, lucky.
Because that could bowl him over.
Yes, absolutely.
That would be gun butt if he does start in for this game. They weirded that he sits there with his legs up in the presser going, look, I've done some tape.
You guys all think I wasn't watching footy like but I've done some tape. Cam Murray got good leg speed, quick play of the ball, and usually win when he starts.
And he's got complacent. You thought we'd bring him off the bench. We played him for the full 80.
Slipping a I told you so in there.
1-0.
Fantastic.
1-0. Was it a Simpson thing where he's like getting in the sand and down like that?
Yeah.
Laurie Daly just
Being
walks out
swallowed
like
up by the earth. And then getting stuck.
It's time for the Code Sports story of the week and huge announcement. I have written my first ever article for Code Sports. It should be up as we speak. So what we're going to do is, if you haven't already signed up with, I think the end of financial deal is over. So I don't know if I think you can't even use that anymore. However, we're going to send a text out to the Bloke Club with a link that still has that discount so that you can read the article, my first ever article written. I hope you guys enjoy it. That's all on Code Sports.
A little teaser. What can we expect in the article?
You can expect it's a new day in rugby league, and I don't want to give it away because it's a kind of unique insight.
Show us a bit of leg, though. What are
A
we
bit of leg.
reading?
Okay, I think that. Put it this way, I think the NRL should be the UFC. Boom, there's the teaser.
Oh, okay.
It sounds crazy, but you're going to see what I mean when you actually read the article.
Was the term entertainment business used?
Oh, there we go. See, he's getting the feeling.
I like
He's getting
it.
the feeling. There you go. So if you want to read one of the greatest articles ever written, you go to Code Sports. Use hopefully use the discount code. We'll send you a link. If not, just go and sign up and you can read it. Tyson the Terminator, how you going, brother?
Good. I think I'm going to be out of a job next week, though. That sounds
I
it
can't-
sounds pretty good.
I
I
can't
might have my
promise ya.
story next week to talk about.
I can't
Dana
promise
Kemp's
you won't
coming
be.
for you.
Yeah, I can't promise you. I can't promise you
Kemp.
won't.
Greatest article ever. I can't wait to read it. But hey, let's dive into some stuff. To be honest, it actually hasn't been that busy of a news week.
The second greatest article this week was written, and it was the Alfie article.
The Alfie article. It's honestly one of the best. Now, you boys all born when this happened, but 2001 when Alfie Langer came back from
Wow.
the
That's
UK.
the most rattling
I'm just
statement.
saying.
Oh,
What-
I'm
what
just
an
right.
entry.
Like, fuck,
Look,
sorry
I'm
for being
just
born
gonna
in fucking
start
80.
because you know what? I love this article because it taught me
Jesus.
something I didn't know. Taught me about how the great Brian Fletcher's grenade moment, which I think has been replayed so many times. He was sitting in his house in North England watching Brian Fletcher do this grenade celebration. The Blues 3-0 to over the Maroons the year before. And he went the next year, you know what? I can't let this happen again. The burn he felt from that game. And we've dove in. There's 4 journos worked on this. It took over a month to get done. We've got Alfie Langer interviews, Wayne Bennett interviews. Brian Fletcher spoke about his
The GOAT.
celebration.
Is he the greatest storyteller in rugby league?
He's right up there.
I think he might be. Brian Fletcher.
Yeah, it's honestly like
Him and Maddie, like
Yeah.
I was
goated.
about to say the only guys that beat him are the guys that sit left and right.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
But honestly, guys, it's one of the most amazing reads, and not only that, it's a special build on the Code website. It doesn't look like your average story. A lot of work's been put into this. There's also
Also, there's like kind of imagery and stuff like that.
heaps
You
of
can't
imagery.
really get in it.
Do you guys know Alfie Langer had an album back in the day? You could buy an Alfie Langer CD, which played all of Alfie Langer's greatest hits.
6
Not
more
that he
songs,
sung.
I think it was called.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
not that he sung, but
But he
all of-
chose. He's put
them.
a Spotify playlist together before it was even a
Mixtape.
thing.
Revolutionary. Look, I'm no Queenslander, but
Remember back in the day, you used to burn your CDs and you'd like choose your favorite songs from like LimeWire and that. Allegedly, of course. I would never steal a song.
And you'd completely smash your family computer. Would just get completely corrupted
Yes.
with just
Yes.
hooked files.
That good old fashioned ad with like, would you steal a car? Don't steal a movie or a song. Like, scared the
Would you
living.
repurpose for a sport thing with you?
There you go.
Yeah, guys, look, documentary also involved. There's about a 15-minute documentary we put together. It's a great read. Do you guys, Kemby, you're a Queenslander. Do you remember that series that he came back? Like I said, I wasn't born, so I'd love to know what you guys were like, I guess.
Do
No,
you
you weren't born.
Yeah, just throwing it out
When you
there.
keep
I am
it,
younger
like-
than you guys.
We're well aware of it.
Do you remember that, Roo?
I do, yeah. I was pretty young, but I do remember it. Pretty crazy scenes. I heard Matty Johns talking about it the other day, or maybe it was actually Trish Johns talking about it, that they were sitting at a pub with Alf when he got the call over in England.
No
Come
way.
back. Yeah, crazy scenes. Like for him to come back from England, do what he did, the try over the back of the head, real folklore
Yeah.
stuff.
Great stuff. Great stuff. And then obviously New South Wales, to a different degree, repeated it with Joey in 05. I know he's come back from injury and it wasn't over in Super League, but you know what I'm saying. Now, what's going on the Broncos, bro? What's the go? So it's 8. Is it 8 losses in a row? I don't think, definitely in the modern era, that hasn't happened. The Premier is going 8 in a row. I think there's, in regards to just rugby league football, I think you have to go back to like the 50s or something like that. What's going on there?
Yeah, look, it's obviously not great what's going on, as you kind of just mentioned. Their finals hopes pretty much put a line to them. They have to win every single game for the rest of the season and rely on other results. So you can pretty much put a line through the Premiers last year, not making the top 8, which has only happened twice. I'm pretty sure the Tigers in 05 to 06, and then there was another team.
Storm, but that was a little bit
Yeah, the
different.
Storm. But yeah, look, what I'm hearing from around the club is it's not panic stations yet. They've obviously put a lot of trust in Madge. Madge is the guy. David Donner, he's a massive fan of Madge and has pushed him a fair bit. So what I'm hearing is he's going to look. There's obviously fan conversations on, is he going to get the sack? Is he going to get punted at the end of the year? From the information that I've got, that's not going to happen. No matter if, I think even if you guys lose, the Broncos lose the next 8 games, he's going to start next year as that head coach. And next year will be a contract year for Madge. 1 year left. I would dare say from the vibes I'm getting from around that club is if they had to make a decision whether to re-sign him or not, they're probably leaning towards more re-signing him than getting rid of him.
Wow. What do you reckon, Roo?
I'm obviously not within the 4 walls in any way, shape, or form, but I mean, it has to have something to do with Payne Haas leaving, right? Like, it has to be Madge related, him leaving. Like,
Well, you add like all the other stuff happening too as well. Like,
I don't know how you can push back on it. I don't know how you can actually deny that in reality.
Yep.
Like, they were in the honeymoon period. They just won a comp, and he goes to South Sydney, who, with all due respect to them, haven't played finals in 5 years. And yeah, going to Wayne Bennett, sure. When was the last time Wayne Bennett played finals?
and also
7 years ago. Like
look at that spine. Like at the moment, it's still got quite a ways towards being a premiership winning spine
bloody
at,
oath it
at
does,
the
yeah.
Rabbitohs.
And for all, like, you don't know how much longer Cody Walker's got to go in his career. Like, it just seems like a bizarre decision to me from Payne Haas, and it, I don't know, it points to the reason he, for whatever reason, doesn't want to be in Brisbane. Winning comps aren't enough to keep you there. He also, like, you got to remember as well, and imagine, like, he won the Origin series the year before as well and played his best football. So I refuse to believe that doesn't have something to do with Madge, and I just wonder if Payne Haas is leaving and they're keeping Madge there. Does that lead? Like, are we just watching the same cycle all over again? And are Brisbane going to keep him up there because he won a comp, but put yourself in a hole for the next few years? Like, I just wonder if, hey, it was successful. We did what we wanted to achieve. Let's go in a different direction.
Yeah, I think with the Payne Haas one, I think at the time, because we hadn't seen them play any footy, you could kind of go, okay, I'm going to believe what's coming out of the club, and, maybe he just wants a fresh start. Maybe there's some other stuff going on family-wise or something like that.
Yep.
I think now that we've seen them, completely capitulate and it's been a disaster season, would suggest that things aren't all rosy up there and haven't been for quite a while. I'm a little bit surprised that the feeling is that they would re-sign him, they're more likely to re-sign him than not right now, rather than, yes, it's a tough time. We need to see a little bit more from Madge coming into next year. Because I think that I do believe Madge has earned the right to have another preseason with this team. However, I think it's a little bit crazy that they're already even considering re-signing when at the moment, the Jesse Arthurs, although he's a fringe first grader at this stage of his career at the Broncos, that might obviously go in Super League now, but he rejected a contract, Payne Haas leaving, Ben Teo leaving. I guess the concern at the Broncos is that, if it is true that the playing group doesn't necessarily vibe with Michael Maguire, the longer you keep Madge there, how much are you losing? And that's the balancing act they're going to have to. And I don't know if that is the case, but that is clearly a potential concern because we've already lost one of the great runners all the time.
So at the moment, they're second last. Like, if that's where they finish this year, do you still think he deserves another preseason?
Well, the thing is crazy is Eels. So the injury thing can now no longer, you cannot even mention the injury thing because the Eels have had more injuries and they've got more wins than the Broncos this year.
I
And they
think
came
quite.
like
I think that I think Madge hasn't said it publicly, but within those four walls, they are putting a lot of this. If we didn't have injuries, things would be different. Which I mean, we can all have our opinions on that. I'm personally with you there, Kempy, and think they can't really. They've got enough talent there that if they have injuries in their stars, they should be able to fill those holes and be competitive in games. But I think within those four walls, from what I'm hearing, that is a part of the reason they think they're going as poorly as they are.
Yeah, as I said, I do think he's earned the right to tweak things and, come into next preseason with more information. Even if they do come 15th, even though that's like unbelievable, I still think at least another preseason, given an opportunity to head into next year. But yeah, I guess the problem is like both this squad and also Madge have shown that after big years, they sometimes struggle. The problem is for head coaches is you're not going to move a whole squad on, especially that Broncos squad. I don't think they're going to move the whole squad on there. So, yeah, it is a really tough one. I think people that are trying to make out like it's just injury or, it's not that, like this is a disaster, period.
100%.
Like it's an absolute disaster. And I think that last year, Madge deserved all the praise he got, absolutely, unequivocally. But if you're going to sit there and praise him for winning a premiership, then you've also got to be able to critique him when he's led a team to, 8 losses in a row and most likely going to finish in the bottom 4. And unfortunately, if every press conference he says the boys are all bought in and we're working really hard, unfortunately, that's not good for the coach then. If the boys are all bought in and they are working hard, that means the current system and coaching happening at the club is not good enough. Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they're not bought in, then you could make the argument, well, they're not buying into my system, therefore it's not working. But if you're saying they're all bought in and they're working really hard, which happens every single press conference, then things need to change up top.
Yeah,
things need to change
things really
up top.
dipped for the Broncos when the Ben Teo situation happened.
They went 2 really good wins.
Yeah.
And then
Like we spoke about it on the yarn last week, how important Ben Teo was as that communicator from the coach to
how we thought. We don't know for sure. But
I've spoken to other clubs, and I'll use my club as an example. A lot of the boys really value Chris Heinington at the Tigers as that guy who can go from Benji to the players. He's one of the boys, right? And he's someone that really relates to the players. Maybe when they're a bit off with Benji, Chris Heinington's their guy, that middleman. That's what, from my understanding at the Broncos, that's what Ben Teo was for them. And I believe not having a like-for-like replacement when Ben Teo walked out, as they said, they were all caught by surprise by the situation. That's really made him struggle because it's gone the players straight to Madge.
Yeah, I would have almost thought, and as we said, Ben probably did play that role. Like, I would have almost thought Adam Reynolds would have played that role as well for this side. I thought that almost would have been two-pronged from Adam working with him 10 years ago, won a comp with him previously.
yeah, he played a bit of that role, but as a player, you still, like, there is this still, you're a player playing each week, whereas a coach, it's almost this, like, unwritten rule of you're the good cop. Like as an assistant coach, just like this unwritten rule that even a head coach to a degree will give you a bit of a rope to like be the good cop because he understands he needs that balance. So yeah, look, I do think Madge has earned the right, but he does need to tweak things. I think that clearly that is a club, and like some of these injuries, like maybe they do come from working too hard. Maybe they have come from having too many Ks in their legs. I'm not sure, but I believe in the playing group. I think it's a bloody good playing group, good bunch of young boys. But there definitely needs to be tweaks in what they're doing for preseasons because whatever they did this year for preseason, whatever they did this year, during the week, it hasn't worked. It just has not worked. And the problem is like if there was 1 or 2 players playing career best form this year, you could go, okay, maybe it's not the system. But like at the Broncos, who's playing anywhere near their best footy? Like,
I don't think they've had. I can't tell you a single standout from that team so far.
Like Payne Haas has continued to do big things, but maybe Willison. But I think that's more to do with the fact he's gotten more minutes rather than, But I'll say Willison to be generous. Willison's been incredible. But outside of that, anyway, we'll get more into it in the Broncos chat. But yeah, I think he deserves an opportunity to tweak things and hopefully meet the players in the middle a little bit.
I think at the bare minimum, he'll get 10 rounds next year. At the bare minimum, he'll get the first 10 rounds to say. They've got new signings coming in, Jonah Pezzett, a couple of re-signings. He's obviously put a lot of faith in Ben Hunt. Billy Walters comes back into the mix. You'll get the first 10 rounds for sure.
And I think he's earned that. I really do. What do you reckon?
Who have you signed heading into next year? You got Barnett, Gagai, Jones.
Hunt, Pezzett. But yeah, in regards to like young fellas that are, absolutely tearing it apart at other clubs, I don't think there's been.
Yeah, okay.
The Broncos have tried to bring in more veterans because I think they believe they've got a young crop of guys already. They just need those couple of holes filled. But yeah, your likes of Mitch Barnett, Dane Gag, Dane's an exception because he's been able to stay on the field. But these older guys, as they get older, we know that, time starts to get limited. Look at Adam Reynolds this year. Adam Reynolds has struggled to stay on the field the last couple of years at the Broncos.
Be interesting watching Dane next year.
Yeah, super interesting to see how he goes. So tough times for the club, extremely tough times. As I said, he deserved all the praise last year, Madge, but if you're going to praise him and say he led this team to a grand final, you've also got to critique him as to where the club is right now. That's only reasonable and fair, and unfortunately, it hasn't been good enough this year. So hopefully they can change some things. That's Code Sports Story of the Week. Go to codesports.com.au/bloke. My first ever story is up there. And make sure, there's plenty of other articles, including Alfie Langer. There's more articles dropping very soon. And thank you, Tyson, for joining us, mate.
Thanks, boys.
Panthers defeat the Rabbitohs 36-14. Look, really, really good performance for the Panthers. I just think that they're so good at reducing the likelihood of you winning. Like, they'll complete really high. They'll give you no opportunities. Really, really good performance from the Panthers. Exactly what they needed to kind of like reinvigorate. Okay, we've still, even though they wouldn't be thinking we don't have any, but just to have that win, that was such a Panthers-esque win. Rabbitohs, for me, getting quite concerned. I'm not convinced that they are a premiership threat at this stage. And honestly, I'm starting to get to the point where they may, regardless if they win a few games, I'm still a little bit concerned about some of the key positions in big games against some of the big dog clubs.
Mind if I rip the Band-Aid off early so we can get it out of the way?
Okay.
The no try.
As in
the try, sorry. The blatant no try.
Let's rip it off.
A try that was, I think there's an argument it was a knock-on, double movement, and potentially obstruction. Insanity.
Let's just talk about it. Listen, what blows my mind is they try to, so for some reason, maybe it wasn't the NRL that did it, but a journalist got this 98%, they get 98% right. In the last, how many obvious bunker howlers where in the last just 2 or 3 weeks, you could say that's arguably one of the worst calls I've ever seen. We've seen that, what do you reckon, 4 of them in 3 weeks?
Yep, multiple times, yep.
Now, in what planet, and I've seen some people go, oh, look at this commentator, he didn't mention it. Hey, the commentators are not trained to see whether it was a try or no try. Their job is to commentate the game. If they miss a specific detail of something, yes, obviously it'd be great if they did see it, but that's not their job. The guy in the video bunker is trained. It's his job to look for those things as to what could not be a try. In what planet is that not held? Ball arm is touching the ground. Clearly, he's on his back. Like, for example, let's put a different scenario. That he lands on his back like that and he passes off the ground and they score. Do you reckon they give that a try?
No way.
Why the hell are we giving the other one a try? It's in a crucial part of the match too. Now, Panthers were the much better side, but it was in a crucial part of the match. I just can't believe it. And I think that if you need more evidence than the last month of footy, that we need to put more resources in to upskilling our refs, then I don't know what to show you anymore.
Yeah, I think, it's probably an over-the-top example as well. But if that happened on halfway and the player stood up and tried to play the ball a metre in front of where he was tackled, they'd call him back, right? It's held. The ball's on the ground. That's where it ends. And
also, like, some was trying to say, like, oh, momentum. No, momentum stopped. He had to reach out to score the try. As I said, and that's what's crazy is, like, usually you get like one of these a season. Mate, the Tuapiki try was 2-3 weeks ago. The Dolphins situation, that was last week. There was another thing, I'm forgetting it now, that happened as well. The Xavier Savage one as well. This is in like a 3-week period. And so I just think that we're starting to see the effects of, and I know this is a howler and we should never see this, but I personally believe we've changed so much in the game in such a short period that the refs are becoming overloaded to a degree, and which leads to more errors. I think we need to put more resources into upskilling our refs, to trying to get more refs into the game so that these howlers don't happen anymore. It's absolutely unacceptable, that call. Tommy, Bomber, get your thoughts.
Well, you're right about the whole, it's been happening a lot, and I do think that there's some inconsistency around how things are being interpreted, but you can't fault commentators, like you said, for their commentary. We get the narration of the guy who is making the decision. How do you address that as the ball is still up? Like, there was no way it was. And the thing is, in theory, I believe if his arm doesn't hit the ground there and he's able to reach out without the arm hitting the ground, it actually is by the letter of the law a try. But his arm hits the ground with a guy on top of him. Like, it's actually impossible that. So yeah, I thought that was really bizarre, and actually, it wasn't to me contentious. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I can see how you could interpret it like that. It was a blatant wrong call.
Yeah, and the concern is like if this happens once every 8 weeks or whatever, although you don't want that to happen, you go, we're all humans. We all make mistakes at work. I make mistakes at work all the time. Blah blah blah. The problem is there's probably at least, what do you reckon, 4 absolute all-time howlers have happened in 3 weeks? Like, that's not good. We just signed a $5 billion deal.
And you know it's concerning when the guy who scored the try is watching it, and then, like, especially on the Savage one, then it's almost like their reaction's like, oh, fuck, really? Like,
Well, I didn't even think they went down for the kick with the Savage one. I think they, if maybe it wasn't that. There's been so many howlers, I can't remember. But yeah, it's what do you reckon, Hammy?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a few little factors at play, but even just the final piece, the did he or did he not lose it at the end? It's interesting, even the bunker, guy in the bunker, he's like, oh, look, from this angle, it's actually all right. I was like, what about the other angle? It looks
that shows
pretty
clear
bad. I was
separation.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on board the Milky Jenkins, let's break this record train.
course.
So I don't mind it from that perspective. But, yeah, it did look and smell a little bit funny. And if it had have kind of decided the game, you would have been a little bit flat about it. But, yeah, it's pretty, it seems like a pretty flawed system that we've got at the moment.
I thought as well on Sunday, and like they got this decision right, but it infuriated me as a fan, if I'm honest, on halftime in the Parramatta Manly game when they picked up on that Kelmer was in front of the play the ball. It was a penalty. I'm like,
You know what's crazy?
we got that right?
You know what's
we got that
mental?
right live,
Oh.
but we watched 4 replays of a double movement knock-on potential obstruction and fucked it? What is doing?
You know what's crazy? I literally wrote that in my notes too. We have touchies that can pull a player out of an absolute. There's so many players. You know how hard it would be to identify that guy isn't past to play the ball? We can nail that on the fly too. Not even a video ref, but we can't get a video ref call correct. And they tried to bring out this 98% correct calls right or whatever, but that still is roughly just under 2 incorrect bunker calls a week nearly. Like that. I don't think we should be happy if there's a bunker call wrong 1 per week.
It's such a tough job, though, when, like, it's actually objectively so impressive that they can get that right on the
Incredible.
fly. But I think we would all agree, and most fans would agree, I actually don't give a fuck about you missing that. Just get the groundings right and the double movements right.
Unbelievably impressive.
Yeah, like if they miss
I'd
that,
argue it's one of the more impressive things in the game. It's
crazy,
From a referee
yeah.
point of view.
But, like, I don't care. Like, just get, like, if it's one or the other, get groundings right, get double movements right, so that I can watch it and go, fuck, that is a meat and potatoes.
Like, do you think anyone would be blowing up? Like, there would be some people, but like, let's say a try was scored because someone was standing a meter in front of the play of the ball and then eventually got back and got onside, but he got the ball, but blah, blah, blah. Most people are like, yeah, missed that, whatever. Whereas, like, yeah, I totally see what you're saying, Tommy. I will say as well, like, just with some of the touchy, I just can't understand. Like, even at the end of the game, Brian To'o clearly doesn't go out. The touchy is literally looking at him. And Brian To'o's like, he's given the touchy the side-eye. It's a bit of a joke, but he's going, are you serious? Like, you called that out? They go to challenge. Obviously, it's not out. There was actually another call earlier in the game where the same touchy said he was out where he wasn't out before passing the ball. Yeah, so look, just...
There was also the one in the Dolphins Knights game, and I was back end of the game and whatever, but where they went for the short kickoff and they challenged it. What, did it cross the 10-meter plane? Like, I thought it was so obvious it crossed the 10-meter plane. Like, I thought it was blatantly obvious, and I know we're not at a point, and I've said for a long time, I hope we don't ever get to this point, but I think it's inevitable, where we're drawing lines on the screen to show. But, like, I don't know how much more obvious that could have been that crossed that 40-meter line.
Yeah, I thought it crossed it absolutely. Absolutely. I actually thought it crossed that in the air, like, as in, like, and even angled back a tiny bit. Yeah, anyway, just some tough. And what's weird is not weird. Sorry, what's tough is like, so we miss the arm being down for the Jenkins try. Then Jai Gray scores one of the tries of the season, and they go back and get a little hand graze from Cody Walker, and it's like, I know they shouldn't. That's good. They didn't give the try, but it's just like, so you can see that. You can
Is
go
that
all the way back to
greatest no try of all time? We'll get
Mate,
to it, but it
unbelievable.
has to be right.
It's my favourite no try of all time, and it probably would have been up there as my favourite try of all time as well. It is funny though, on the Kelmer one, like if you ask someone that sat at home and live went, what the fuck? I would be going and like signing up for a referee course. Like, we need you in our game. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like realising you got a superpower. Like, that's fucking brilliant.
What about the other one? And once again, they got it right, but I forget which team it was. Someone challenged on their own try line, and they won the challenge, but it eventually led to a penalty against them.
I think it was Manly.
Was it Manly?
Where they tackled without the ball, or was it Eels?
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. They called knock on. It was Manly. I think you're right. They called. No, actually, I'm not sure it was, but they called. It was tackled.
He tackled him before the ball, all right.
It was tackled before the ball. So congratulations, you won the challenge. It's a penalty.
Yeah. And also, like in that situation, I don't know what you want the defense to do. Like, he can't like you're slowing it down to a frame by frame second thing. Like he's tackling like millimeters before the ball's touching his chest. What is the defender supposed to do there? Like time somehow. Like stay on his line. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're taking out the reality of rugby league. He got off his line. It was honestly one frame away from the ball landing in his grip before he touched him. It's just, anyway, craziness. But back to the game. Yeah, I just thought the Panthers were ruthless. I thought, they had eventually that 86% completion rate. They actually had about 90 for a lot of the game. We'll say one of the bigger, I guess, negative talking points out of it is Blaise Talangi getting moved to the centres. We actually brought it up probably, let's say 3 or 4 weeks ago that although you can't blame losses on Blaise because of his age and he's, learning his craft, we did feel there was pressure ramping up on him as a 6. And so I think, you can hold two things to be true. Like, do they need to look at that position if they are to win a comp? Yes, probably at the moment with how everything's going form-wise. But does that mean Blaise is crap and he shouldn't be given an opportunity to grow and become a full-time number 6 in first grade? Whether that be via New South Wales Cup, whether that be via centre that he has to earn his stripes. Those two things can be true. You don't have to be all in one hand of like, okay, we're going to move Cole there and Blaise Talangi, he's just shit. He's just crap. He'll never be a 6 in the NRL. I don't think that's true. But I do think that it's gotten to the point for the Panthers where in a lot of game plans, people are targeting that edge for them. And I don't mind them trying him in other positions because if they are to win a comp, unfortunately, I know it's definitely not all Blaise's fault because there were other tries scored, but you just go back to last year, that was a bit of a weak point for him in the final series in big matches.
Yeah, and you go back to the start of last season as well. They didn't pick Blaise for the first 5 weeks. Took him over to Vegas, didn't play him, went with Jack Cole because defense there. Did you... I wasn't sure when I was watching this game. I thought, okay, is it a case of let's just get Jack Cole some reps in case we need him towards the back end season because he hasn't really played much first grade or at 5'8". If you're going to need Jack Cole, it's going to be in that position. Or is it a genuine maybe positional change for Blaise? Do you think it could be a genuine thing for him?
Well, when Ivan was asked for it, he pretty much just said, I thought that was best for today or something like that. I think it's genuinely an idea of like, okay, we've been pretty loyal to Blaise. We've given a lot of time to really sort that edge defense out. And if we are to win a comp this year, we need to make some pretty tough calls. So I actually think I don't know about a positional change long term. I think that maybe when they're at full strength, there could be an argument that he sits on a 6-man bench and Cole gets that jersey if he plays well.
Do you think Cole's the next man up or would you have Cogger there before him?
Well, yeah, maybe Cogger. Yeah, we're at full strength. Nathan Cleary. Ironically, though, Cogger actually had a pretty poor game against the Cowboys. So it's not like, Blaise is alone in that thing.
But then what happens when McLean's back in? Like, does Blaise then drop?
I think you're right now, why in a game that you've lost 2 in a row and you move your 6, that says to me that you're probably not happy with what's happening rather than I just want to give guys some game time.
He's a pretty deep thinker sometimes, though. Ivan.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Ivan, I'd be with you. It was just part of me that was just thinking, I wonder if this is just an opportunity. Hey, we might need Jack Cole towards the end. If we have an injury to Blaise or someone he has to come in, do I want to just give him some reps and take advantage of an opportunity during Origin week? And once again, if it was any other coach, I wouldn't even present that.
That's too deep, though, as in that's 2 players deep because you've got at full strength Cleary, Blaise.
Yep.
If Blaise goes down, Cogger goes in.
Well, we assume so.
Yeah, we'd assume so.
Might not be, but yeah.
You also got McLean there, though, too. That's what I'm saying. Like, if McLean comes back into the centres, if you're not with Blaise at 6, are we just saying Blaise goes back and plays Cup?
I think probably initially on the 6-man bench and then probably play Cup.
He sits on the 6-man bench, and if he doesn't get used, he goes back and plays Cup?
Probably. Yeah.
Isn't that at this point, isn't that more of a step sideways or even backward? I know he's so young.
But I also think if you're Ivan Cleary, it's about winning comps
Yeah,
next year.
you're in the comp business. You're not in the,
No, I agree, but like you were in a prelim final last year.
Would you say he's improved since last year, Blaze?
I
I thought he was
would've-
playing better footy last year, to be honest. At the end of the
Yeah,
year.
there was a period of time in this season I thought his defense had improved a lot, but I think it's sort of falling back into old ways again.
And I actually thought his attack last year was better than it has been
Yep.
this year. So
In
it's,
saying that, I mean, we're talking about Tom Jenkins. He's the ball player on that edge. His wingers could break the try scoring record. Like to be fair to him,
yeah, that's fair.
Like I think if it was that winger, we'd compliment the ball player on that side in most sides. But I agree. I think just optically he doesn't look as good or confident as he did last
Which
year.
is
to me.
look, every player has a bit of down year. You even go back to Nathan Cleary, the start of his career. He had down seasons. So I personally think Blaze is going to be a bloody good first grader. Where he ends up positionally, I do think that's still a little bit of a question. I wouldn't mind seeing him at fullback, to be honest. But yeah, me personally, my opinion, I think that Ivan's gone. It's been 18 rounds. I'm still not really happy with how everything's going. I'm going to give Cole an opportunity to take.
I'll tell you, if he does end up on the 6-man bench, and I think he'd be perfect for that spot. Imagine if you saw Isaac Tungo sitting there going, "What the fuck has happened?" Like he would legitimately be playing cup then
Yeah, absolutely.
after winning multiple premierships.
Blaze also did peak at the end of last year. Like they managed him very well last year. Like, I remember a lot of these conversations happening the whole time, and then towards the back
Can
end,
you
he played his
afford
best
though?
footy.
Like I don't think the Panthers are okay with like, oh, we'll just wait for you to peak. Oh, I mean, saying that like,
Well, they managed it
many
last
years.
year. They were a 2-point field goal away from sort of tying it up there with the Broncos. Like they went very close. It took a crazy, probably the most crazy premiership we've seen in the NRL era in terms of a run.
So
to
you
beat
reckon
them.
you're in Guru's camp of you reckon they're just resting, giving Cole some NRL first.
I don't
grade?
even think it was about giving Cole minutes. I think it was more just like he's looked at the side, and I mean, there's so many things that could go into it. Like even if Tago's carrying a bit of an injury or something like that, like rather than put him straight in to play the full 80, like maybe he just thought this is a good game to just let Blaze take away some responsibility from him, because if Cleary's not there, Yo's not there, and Blaze is the 6, it all falls on him. I think he's looking at a side where he's going up against a really experienced 5'8". Maybe he thought if we lose this, it falls on his shoulders more. I mean, there's so many ways it could have gone. I just think that like if he backed him in all the way last year, I don't see why they'd change it now for guys that neither of those two jump out to me. Like we always talk about what Cogger did in that grand final, but I feel like every game I've watched him come in and play this year hasn't blown me away like enough to be like, let's stop the young kid that we've got, you know?
I mean, he's not in halves. He has shown before though he'll drop outside backs like they're going well.
100%.
For other ones that are killing it. I tend to lean towards it's a bit of a warning shot to Blaze. Now, not the full you're done at this stage, but I do think there's a chance where if he doesn't get that warning shot and go to another level, I think there'll be pressure on his spot heading to.
And I think both of those things can be true as well.
Yeah, true. But in regards to the performance, guys, like your thoughts on Jenkins' performance, mate?
Oh, unreal. I mean, he just keeps on doing the damn thing. And you mentioned it before. Rue, got Bizza out on the other wing, one of the greatest wingers we've ever seen, getting it cold. The ball's all just going Jenkins' way. He's got the hot hand at the moment. 1 or 2 controversial tries, yes. However, he's not only is he a great finisher, but he's also good at kind of creating opportunities. There's 1 or 2 that got disallowed after he kind of threw the last pass as well. But the year and a half that he's had since going to the Panthers is just like a testament to the environment that they've got there. He was a fringy elsewhere. He's come in there, become an absolute world beater. Last year, his season was awesome, and then unfortunately, it was a bit stiff on him. Got nixed for the finals, and they brought Alamotti back into the side. But I mean, this year, if and when they go that far again, he's got a mortgage on it now. Like they're not going to drop him anymore. He's been amazing this year, and 3 tries on the weekend, 25 in 16 games. Unreal season from him.
Man, to think a guy with this much talent literally was this close to being lost to professional rugby league.
Yep.
I've always been a big believer, and I do believe that with this amount of teams coming in quickly, maybe there might be a little bit of a talent shortage, but I actually think there's a coaching shortage. I actually think it's our systems that we have in place that aren't necessarily world class, because I think Jenkins is how many players do we see come in like this, going to good systems and becoming great, whereas they couldn't even make first grade sides in other systems. I mean, here's a great example. Look at the Knights. They bring in Holbrook. The side, on paper, outside of So Sanders Smith, Dylan Brown brought in. Outside of Trey Mooney, so three recruitments, and then some people let go. All of a sudden, if you give everyone their bye, they're sitting second right now in the competition. The Knights, they were last year, just because of Holbrook's ability to his systems.
Yeah.
In regards to some other plays, I loved one of the tries where, so Jennings on the other wing was having an absolute screamer of a game, and they actually weren't getting much luck with some crossfield kicks. And I love the fact the Panthers, they're so detailed. They go, okay, we need to kind of like mess up his rhythms to a degree, because what they were doing was just normal kind of crossfield kicks to him, and he was like, one of those takes was amazing. So what they did was they set up like on almost like a short side on Jennings' side, passed out long side, but then kicked back into and got Milky Jenkins to come in near where the play the ball was, kicked back into Jennings, and what that did was it just totally ruined his whole run up. It totally ruined the escorts that he usually has around him, because like I understand you're supposed to get penalised for escorts, but a lot of the time there are still escorts happening. They're just done in a legal manner. And it's just like brilliant coaching to go, okay, this normal way of kicking crossfield bombs is not working. Let's mess his routine up. Let's put him in a position where he doesn't get the big run up from the corner of the field, or he doesn't get the big run up coming out his own end. And also the escorts around him aren't prepared for it. I thought it was just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from the Panthers. In regards to some other players, I thought Alamotti was just like another guy. Could barely get a club. He's at the Dogs. They weren't interested. You know how old Alamotti is? He's 22.
Yep.
He's 22, bro. What the hell? That's insane. Insane. He is an absolute beast. I thought he was incredible on the weekend.
I want to give a shout out to two forwards. The first one is, I think, the Bears' best signing so far, Liam Henry. He was unreal in this game. I think he's probably the one that I'm most confident as far as all the signings for the Bears. They've got a good player for the future there.
Yep.
I love him, and your man, Billy Phillips.
He's a gunner.
Weapon.
He's an absolute weapon. And what's strange about Billy Phillips is like, you look at him and you're not sitting there going, like, he looks like a weapon. He looks like a fit, young fella. He goes on there and he's just so strong in contact. He's deceptive in the way he plays. He's got a little bit of Isaiah Lindsay Smith about him to a degree. Mate, they're building really nicely. I think it's Lindsay Smith signing till 2029. I think that if Isaiah Yeo asked for a 1 or 2 year extension, they'd probably give it to him. But I do think that they've showed their hand a little bit. Like Lindsay Smith is clearly their number 13 going forward. Because he, honestly, if you squint your eyes, you might think you're looking at Isaiah Yeo. That's how similar he plays to Isaiah Yeo at 13. He was outstanding, Lindsay Smith.
Yeah. The other one I like too is Patea comes off the bench.
Yep. You have to assume Moses Leota potential replacement if he does decide to leave.
Yeah, I think so.
Thoughts, Tommy?
Yeah, I thought he was good off the bench, but my main takeaway from this game was with the Lindsay Smith, seeing him at 13. And it does give me a lot of confidence that he could be the successor to Yo, or that he will be, by the looks of it. I am still concerned, though, about their lack of middles. Like, who's coming through? Like, you might have a better idea in terms of
the thing is just like, if they didn't lose Liam Henry, I would be going, I think Liam Henry's the guy that absolutely steps into it.
He 100% would have been the guy. Yeah. And like even watching him, say, a couple of years ago, when they started Fish there, it was like, oh, Lindsay Smith and Henry are the guys that'll come through. But he's gone. So you assume like you're going to have Yo. Smith will still be there. Like Yo will be there, at least next year? Is that right?
At least next year. But I reckon Yo will take a payday somewhere else.
So do I. So that's where Patea looks solid, but like no one else jumps out at me in terms of having an actual middle rotation. Are they going to go to market? Like, does Isaiah Papali'i
move in the middle? But yeah, they did try Papali'i in the middle last year, and he went really, really well.
He did go well.
I do wonder if that's where potentially that could be where Isaac Tungo ends up on the edge and Papali'i comes back into the middle.
Or even Billy Phillips goes to an edge. Papali'i comes in. You've got Papali'i, Patea, Lindsay Smith as your 13 in 2028.
Because you are right. Like when it goes to their reserve grade side, like I think they've got Toby Crosby, who I really like. But
from the Warriors, isn't he?
Yeah, from Warriors. But I sort of thought by now he might have jumped out of the ground a little bit more than he has. Tom Arley's in reserve grade as well. Who he's a good first grader that they can utilise.
Kalani?
Kalani.
Lalauea going?
Yeah, going. Yeah. But he's more of a hooker edge kind of guy. You can play him through the middle, but I think you want to get more genuine middles. Shout out to their cup team on the weekend. Two guys that were sitting on the bench. They had a Nullavau and they had a Hindmarsh.
Oh, wow.
Both sons of.
Is that
That's rugby
Buster?
league.
Buster.
That's
His cup
rugby league.
debut on the weekend.
The second they named him, he was going to play.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, like, and I know we spoke a little bit about Origin, but like Dylan Edwards has been playing well this year. I feel like there's a bit of this narrative that like he hasn't. I'm like, are we watching the same thing? Like,
Yeah, I think to the casual observer, sometimes Dylan Edwards with the other stars in this team, and that he tends to only sort of play on one. Like he doesn't come up with the highlights that other fullbacks do. So I think that he gets underappreciated by your more casual fan.
yeah, I
think it's a
think
fair
he's
way
been
to
great this year.
Yeah,
Matter of fact,
yeah.
I'd even argue when Panthers have needed him to step up in games where they've either had injuries or whatever, like he's been a senior player for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, really good win for the Panthers. They're back. The Panthers are back. Can't wait to see them at full strength. Toto, does his 200 meters, 6 tackle breaks, 87 post contact, and
What about when he went up in the air early?
I know. I thought it was like, wow,
That's mad.
He actually went up a couple of times, and I was going, "Oh wow, okay." Interesting. I think deep down in his head, he would have loved to have scored a crossfield kick.
Yes.
Because it's just this like, this. It's almost a little bit like the Adam Reynolds is injury prone narrative, where it's like when you actually look at. I know recently he's been injured, but the bulk of his career, he hasn't been injured that much.
Yeah.
And like Toto, now it's a little bit different because there's, he's never really, not never, but he doesn't really get out jumped. But now he's going to get tarred with the brush of like, oh, he's not good under the high ball.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's
And
not
like
really true.
you look at Adam Reynolds at 35, his body should be breaking down.
Yeah.
But we were getting told this when he was 27.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he didn't get re-signed because of it.
Yeah.
He went on to win a comp, 2 grand finals. And so now Toto, I think just the competitor in him would want to just be like, this is just not true. Like, I get out jumped, but the same amount as every other fucking winger gets out jumped to a degree, every other good winger. Okay, on to the Rabbitohs. Okay, the big talking point, obviously, Cody Walker. The most bizarre thing ever is off the field, he is such a nice, good bloke. At least with my interaction with him, got plenty of time for Cody Walker. I think, he's not perfect. He's had some off-field stuff, but, he's been relatively sweet off the field. Legend of a bloke, all of that stuff. But purely from a football perspective, surely this has to be the line. I mean, the line in the sand should have been a few years ago, to be honest. But like, this has to be the line in the sand.
I mean, and I'm happy to get pushback on this, but I sort of felt like Cody 3 or 4 years ago had actually sort of got this out of his game for a period of time. Like I remember watching the Matty jump in whenever the Saturday where they all got sin binned and it all went nuts, and Cody was just playing police officer, and I felt for a couple of years he really calmed down and got this stuff out of his game. But this year, it's just come straight back in.
Yeah, it's
Started the stink over the sideline in Newcastle a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
This moment is the worst of his career by far and away. For me. Like this is one of the great brain explosions I've seen on the footy field.
because I don't even know, unless there's something that we don't know, but I don't even know what Cogger did. Or was it Cogger or Cole?
Cogger.
Either one.
Cogger. It was
I
Cogger.
don't even know what he did wrong. Like I was looking at the tackle going, did he grapple him? I'm like, no, he just held him down a bit longer.
No, well, and credit to Cody after the game. He said,
Took
not good
responsibility.
enough, fucking that's on me. And that's, I still saw people online getting stuck into him. It's like, sure, what more do you want him to do
Yeah, you
than
can't
take
do it.
ownership for,
Yeah.
he fucked up, he's taken ownership for it. Like, credit where credit's due. To me, the way that he spoke, it didn't sound like Cogger deserved it. It sounded like, I fucked
I stuffed up.
Yeah.
I just think that, in other times, they've been a team where the brain explosion hasn't been at such an obvious cost.
Yes.
Whereas this was the cost of a rookie's first try in the NRL. And I'm hoping that is just the line in the sand because, as the captain at his age, he just cannot afford to be having he just can't have this in his game. Like, it's that simple. There's no grey area. You can be passionate without having brain explosions.
Yeah. And it comes, I think it's a 1-game suspension off the back of it.
I think he got lucky not to be sent off, I'm being honest. Like,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I know it wasn't like it was barely hurt him. I get all that. It just the look of it
The action, though,
was just like,
yeah.
out.
For how it's for how much of a dark thing in rugby league tripping someone is, that's fucked.
Yeah.
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 Like to chase the marker and kick
kick him for-
is
it's just
insane.
bizarre.
Absolutely
It's bizarre.
insane. And, it's, there's an argument because they went in at halftime, I think, down 12-10. They were
They're
in
in
that
the game.
game.
Yeah, yeah, they
Well
were.
and truly
Yep.
in it. And that kick was essentially a 12-point kick.
Yeah.
Because it took a try off South Sydney. Penrith went up the other end. They scored. Now he's out for a week. They take on the Newcastle Knights this week, one of the form sides in the competition. On top of that as well, like and I know Cody will feel this more than anyone, but that's a huge celebration out there for Jairo. Like no one would have loved to have been a part of that more than Cody Walker. Timing's just shit house.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it's a line in the sand because, as I said, off the field, absolute legend of bloke.
He knew as soon as he'd done it, though, you could tell he was pretty pissed off at himself. He's like, and for the lip readers out there, he had some pretty direct feedback for himself. So, he knew he'd done the wrong thing, and I think the way that he owned up for it pretty quickly was good.
Just on that note too, Sunday 2 p.m. out there at Accor Stadium, Jairo's like the biggest birthday celebration. I think like kids get in free and stuff with adults. It's going to be unreal out there. Yeah, it's
good.
A really good initiative they're doing.
But in regards to the performances, I mean, look, I know that there was like maybe one try that they got on his edge or whatever, but Dane Jennings, holy shit.
He's a freak, eh?
He is a gun.
Even just that first touch that he got down the right edge, that he just sort of skinned a couple of guys.
Didn't he bump like an edge back rower or something like that?
Yeah, he's incredibly talented, Dane Jennings, and there's, Penrith went after him in that game, and they got the better of him on a few occasions, of course, but fuck, there's a player there.
Mate, he's a gun. And
center's his spot too, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Mate, he is so good. He's so he's so strong for his size too. Like, he doesn't look that big. Like, he looks big, but not that big. But in contact, far out. And also Dane with a Y, which is always something you want.
So important.
Dangerous.
What do you think of Dane Jennings, mate?
Yeah, obviously like such a goer. I thought the most telling thing though, like he is definitely more of a centre in terms of being comfortable there. To go against Milky Jenkins, and they did such a good job, Penrith, of getting at him, especially with the high ball. And he just attacked it every time. And Rue, you said this before, but like they did get the better of him a couple of times where he didn't come down with, especially on that one where they went to the open, then kicked back to him. And Jenkins had come in midfield. Like, and again, Jenkins is one of the best, if not the best, aerial guy in the comp at the moment. Like, I personally thought that I think it was Cogger that kicked that ball. I thought he fucked the kick up a bit, and he still got there. You know what I mean? So, but the way he attacked that challenge and went after it, and
I will say is like, look, I'm not saying the wider instincts, but like this idea that a defending winger should just catch every cross-field bomb and defuse it. Like, it's a 50-50 play, if not 60-40 in the attackers. Like, if enough balls get kicked across to you, they will score.
Yeah, especially when Milky Jenkins the guy going up for it. So I thought, to be a guy more comfortable at centre, you're thrown on the wing. Not only are you thrown on the wing in NRL, but you're thrown on the wing against a guy who is so good in the air. The team does a great job of kicking to him as much. The competition. Yeah, does a great job of kicking to him as much as possible. I thought he really stood up.
What about his try saver on, who was it? Not Liam Henry. Was it Liam Henry? No.
Yeah, it was a breakdown. Yeah, I know the play you're talking about.
I think it was maybe Liam Henry.
Was it Phillips?
No, I think it was Liam Henry.
I think it was Liam Henry. And it's Jennings, a winger,
Yeah.
stopping him inches short from the line.
Inches, yeah. And I mean,
Far out.
Without once again bringing this back to Cody's moment there, but like, if that kick doesn't happen, Dane Jennings is 2 tries, 3 line breaks, 9 tackle breaks, and a try saver.
Mental game. Absolute mental game. Like, I was this close to putting him in team of the week when you consider how many little games he's played and how well he played. Outstanding game. And there was 3 tries scored down his end. Like, well, first of all, not all of them were his fault. Like, anyway, I thought it was outstanding. Who else stood out for you guys for the Rabbitohs, boys?
I thought Keon, just as per usual, he was enormous. I know we say it every week, but he's going to be a good signing for St George.
So freaking good. Are we convinced of their spine, boys? The worry I have with this for the Rabbitohs is that they've got all the pieces of the puzzle. Like, it's like, their forward pack, their edges. But like, Cody Walker might have another year maybe left in him. Also, hasn't been his best year to date. He's had, definitely was great last week. He's had good games, but it hasn't been his best year. Ward has been good. He's been solid. Jai Gray is good. Probably still needs to work a bit on the ball playing if he wants to be top tier. Still unsure about what the 9 rotation is going to be. Like, unfortunately for the Rabbitohs, the hardest pieces of the puzzles to put together, they still don't have that problem solved. And I'm not sure that, like, what's the vision forward for them? Is the vision, like, when Cody Walker retires, is Ward the guy? Like, who's the big dog that's going to be in that spine?
Yeah, we'd have to lean towards Ward at the moment, but I think it's far from certain. I think it's all over the place. Big opportunity for Ward this weekend. Like, he'll take ownership of that side going up against Newcastle, so hopefully he can stand up. But yeah, even, mate, like the 9 rotation is still all over the place. We assume Jamie Humphries won't be there. I cannot believe how quickly Pete Mamazellus has fallen off the radar there.
Like, essentially will go to another club probably like by the end of the year.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks like Jamie Humphries is the same. Sounds like he's going over to Perth. So, And he's been back a few weeks now, Cheese, obviously, but I thought Penrith really went at him early and gassed him out in the first 25 minutes. And how much longer Cody's got to go. I think Jai Gray's ball playing has improved a little bit from last year. But there's a gaping hole from him to those top tier guys.
Like
sure.
I would argue his running game, you could squeeze him into the bottom of the top tier with his running game.
Yep.
But he's ball playing if he wants to be top tier, and he'll work on that.
Yeah.
Like he'll get it. But
and the reality is for Jai Gray and the position South Sydney are in over the next 2 years, they're going up against these teams that are trying to win comps as well.
Yep.
We've all got elite fullbacks that can do it all.
That's it's interesting about Jai though. Given like his ball playing is probably the biggest work on. Like he came through as a 6. You know what I mean? So he's running's always been a strong suit of his game.
It is a unique thing, fullback, that wrap around at the end. It's a very unique. Like for example, Darius Boyd, the king of it. The absolute king of it. Could he play 6? Probably not. Like he could at a pinch, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a very unique skill set.
You're talking about like that 3-on-3 that they end up with, but it's interesting. I think Ward is the guy, at least for now, at 7. They need Cody with a level head, but like I thought, like the ref summed that up after when, like you're right, Hammy. You could tell on his face the second that they sort of brought it up. He's like, "Oh fuck!" But the ref said to him, "He's like, mate, you're the captain. Like you can't do that." You know, if he's level headed and he's focused, like he brings them so much creativity. Do you reckon this week they'll bring? Does Jack Whiten move to 6?
Or Humphreys, probably.
Or do they bring in Humphreys or Bud Sullivan? Because
I think they'll play Humphreys.
Or Bud.
If you move Jack in there, it means you're...
Carlos probably goes back to centre, because that's the thing about Jack Whiten coming in that was so valuable to this team, is that because he comes in at centre, Tallis goes back to his best position on the other edge. You know, so...
They'll play Sut. Yeah, Wayne loves Bud Sullivan. So, yeah, probably. And also, I feel like maybe he just always was that. I feel like Humphreys has put a bit of extra weight on even more since the last, 6 weeks or something like that.
Which probably would have been asked to, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like they may have gone, okay, we've tried at 7. We personally don't see it. He used to put a bit of weight on and be a middle forward off the bench. But I'd even argue, yes, Cody Walker at his best absolutely can win a comp. Freaking no denying. But Cody Walker right now, even form-wise, I wouldn't say he's at close to his best right now. He's been solid, but I don't think he's in premiership winning. And I guess the argument would, as he ages, let's say he goes again next year, because is he re-signed for next year? Oh, sorry, is he signed for next year? Well, anyhow, let's say he goes again, the likelihood, so he's not re-signed for next year. Yeah, so the likelihood of him getting back to the best form, it probably decreases as he gets a bit older.
You have to assume he play. Like if he's good to go, he'll play another year, I reckon.
I think so for sure.
Or they should have already been out in the market.
Yes, and I also think he's still playing good enough footy to be playing NRL. That's for sure.
Yes, yeah.
Who do you think when they're at full strength, like if everyone's available, is Kossi the guy that drops out? Like, does Seawalt become a winger?
Well, you
Dame
have
put himself in there now all of a sudden? Like Latrell's
you have
back?
AJ, you have Campbell Graham.
Yeah, Campbell
Campbell
Graham.
Graham.
So neither
So
of them will be in
they both drop out.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
At
Okay.
full
I'd
strength.
say
Yeah.
I mean, that is a huge lift. Like, I feel like it shines a light when you're missing a lot of these key guys. Does shine a lot of the lights on a guy like, I feel like Ashton Ward, when he's got more strike, he's actually looked quite impressive. Even when Cody's been a bit up and down,
It's a lot of strike he's had though. Like he's had a lot of strike to work with.
Yes, but not consistently. Like even the idea, like if your back row is consistently a Tallis and Fafita, Whiten's outside. One of them, like the whole thing changed. Latrell's the other guy. Like
Yeah, Latrelli's a big out. Yeah, for sure. Like I'll put it this way: gun to head right now. Have you seen enough from the Rabbitohs that they can win a comp this year?
no, but I think if they can come 5th, 6th if they go on a bit of a run. If guys are available, you'd fucking hate to play them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like-
can they put 4 games? Because they're not going to make. Well, they're most likely not going to make the top 4. Can they put 4 games together, beating the like right now? I don't think they've beaten a current top 8 side this year. I don't think so.
Yeah.
The guns ahead thing, I don't think they could put 4 really good ones together. They could put 2 or 3 really good ones together, maybe knock off
Knock out a heavyweight.
but I don't think they got it in them to string 4 together.
But I think, do we all agree though? Like, let's say they keep everyone on the field and they can build towards potential.
Yep.
Like, it's not completely out of the realm of
100%,
possibility.
particularly Latrell, he's the big one. With a couple of those.
I think right now I'd be playing Latrell at centre, but in good ball, I'd be putting him at fullback, or at the very least having sets with him at fullback, because I do think that Rabbitohs get good ball and sometimes that they miss that silky finishing touch from him.
But I mean, Like what? Latrell's another 4 or 5 weeks away, and that's if he returns well, which at the moment is a huge challenge for him.
Keeps getting pushed down. Yeah.
I think an unsung hero for them this season has been Ewan Aiken. I think he's been
outstanding.
tremendous for them.
Yeah, he's what a shrewd signing from the Dolphins. Kind of came out of nowhere, but you imagine this side without Ewan Aiken in it the last couple of years. My God, like he has been one of their more. You know what? Could you argue the most consistent player over the last 2 years for them?
Yeah, outside of
Keon?
Keon.
Outside of Keon, yeah.
But yeah, Keon even had a little dip. There was a little dip for Keon this year. But yeah, I'll go Keon. And obviously Cam when he plays.
Tallis Duncan. I mean, obviously he's emerged though. Like he's kept getting better. But
I'd say top 3. Ewan Aiken, top 3 consistent players for the Rabbitohs the last couple of years.
But I think as well, part of why they're so happy to move Tallis out of his best position. Obviously, he can cover a lot, but they know that Ewan Aiken will do a job.
Yeah.
When Tallis is out there as well.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, it's time for the match of the round in an absolutely incredible performance, dominant display of rugby league. Honestly, it took me back to the dominant. Was it 11 in a row, St. George? Took me back to those days. That's the quality of football that I saw in this match. The Dragons defeat the Tigers 24-10. And it's a KO can't miss moment, guys. Dragons win, and the only place you can watch every game of every round live with no ad breaks during play on is Fox League, available on KO. Friday night we have Tigers versus Warriors, where unfortunately Tigers are going to get pounded again. That sucks.
Beat them last time.
You did actually over there. Yep. Super Saturday triple header: Dolphins v Sharks. That'll be a cracker. Dogs v Raiders, okay, and Roosters v Eels. Watch all 3 Super Saturday NRL games exclusively live on Fox League, included with KO. On Sunday, Rabbitohs v Knights, Seagulls v Cowboys, then Storm v Titans, live only on Fox League. Remember that the only place you can watch every game of every round live with no breaks during play is Fox League, available on KO. The next 3 Bulldogs games, the next 8 Knights games, the next 8 Raiders games, the next 5 Dolphin games are all exclusively live on Fox League, available on KO. But yeah, the KO can't miss moment is this performance from the Dragons, and I've got to say, they've been building towards this. And what I love so much about this win is that, you know, sometimes if you're a rebuilding club or things haven't gone well for you, you have a couple of tight losses and you lose faith in the direction you're heading and you start going, oh, no, this isn't working. Let's change this. Let's change that. They have stuck solid. They have clearly believed in Dean Young. This young forward pack, absolutely outstanding. What a bloody good win from the Dragons.
Yeah, they've been flirting with a victory for about a month or so now. Good to see them finally get one. 24 points to 10. I thought Val Holmes was tremendous in this game.
Wow. Where did that come from?
Oh, like the stat line's pretty impressive from Val Holmes, but you think as well he got a try taken off him in the first half for an obstruction. He made a line break at one point that he had. The only player he had in support with him was Kyle Flanagan. If that was another outside back, he has another try assist there. That was, I wouldn't go as far as saying vintage Val Holmes. Fucking good Val Holmes.
No, it wasn't far off. Again, like, you know, maybe it's just been look, it's just one game, but hopefully he can keep this up because he's still signed for next year, correct?
Well, his last month has been better.
Yeah,
his last month has been heaps better than the first 3, without a doubt. So
definitely.
If he can keep up something like in that ballpark, I noticed a lot on the weekend in Red Ball. They sort of had him standing out on the wing. I thought was interesting.
Yep. Wonder maybe the high ball, maybe
Yeah.
his finishing capacity.
I mean, it's working. Well, whatever the hell, it's working.
Yeah, absolutely.
So shout out to Val. It's been a tough few months for him. Hopefully starting to find some form.
I'll tell you what, for a team that is, most likely, now granted they could go on and win a few more games and not come last, but at this stage likely to finish last, I don't think I've ever been more excited about the young batch coming through for a team that's come last. Like even when the Dogs were struggling and, maybe the Broncos in their 2020 year, but that was more of a, all the dramas going on. Like, I see the future with the Dragons. Like, it's right there in front of me.
Yeah, and I think you can see just the excitement heading into next season. We say it every week. No need to go and again, the guys arriving there and whatnot. But, like, I challenge you to find me a wooden spoon team that could have a player, their captain, sin binned in the first 2 minutes of the game and go on to win 13 plus.
No way. Absolutely no way.
Yeah.
Yep. And when you consider, like, they could barely score a try earlier on in the year. Dean Young has said they've got to go through their process or whatever, but look, don't get me wrong. It's not like they've got, people clamoring to sign Dean Young next year. So they do have time. They don't need to rush into it. But geez, he's like, I kind of feel like he's done enough. I really do.
The moment he signed all those players, he's your coach.
I just, look at the response he's getting. Look how good this young forwards pack playing. Like here's some of the stats of this young forward pack. I couldn't believe it when I was looking at it yesterday. So you've got obviously Toby Catchman. This is Toby Catchman's performance. We're talking about a guy that he's played in a team that essentially has no go forward. He's really had to build this himself. This is Catchman. 64 minutes, 14 runs for 130 metres, 48 post-contact to tackle break, 1 offload, 52 tackles, 0 missed. 52 tackles, 0 missed, plus 130 metres. Now listen, if you make 52 tackles and you miss 0, you almost automatically get into the team of the week. That's how impressive that is alone. Barely ever do we see 52 tackles, 0 missed, plus also, I think one of the most meter. His brother is the only other forward in the Dragon side, and he ran for 4 more meters, but he made about 20 less tackles than him. Toby Couchman is basically, for me personally, I'll be shocked if he's not playing Origin in the next 3 to 4 years. Like, that's how good this guy is. I cannot believe he continues to just have new facets of his game that he adds to. He can play in the middle, on the edge. He can play at 13. We're talking about one of the next big forwards of the future, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the other thing from the weekend is that, Toby played 64 minutes, Ryan played 56, so probably a little bit less than what they've played this season. But they bumped Loco up to 55 minutes for the first time this year. I thought he responded really well to that. He looked unreal to me. He essentially hasn't played more than 40, 45 minutes in a game. I thought he looked fantastic in this one.
Well, here's a stat story I was going to talk about earlier. So this is their starting forward pack. So you've got Loco, Pacifica Tonga, 38 tackles, only 1 missed. Damien Cook, 31 tackles, 0 missed. Couchman, 52 tackles, 0 missed. Dylan Egan on an edge, 40 tackles, 0 missed. Hamish Stewart on an edge, 39 tackles, 2 missed. Ryan Couchman at 13, 35 tackles, 1 missed. So across the board, you're looking at 250 tackles made there, and you've got 4 tackles missed between them all. That is insane.
And with the motor that they've all got, geez, I think it'd be great to see Keon arrive there next year and Keon not need to be an 80-minute glue guy, him just be a destructive guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it'll work really well. And, even in this game, there was moments in there where you went, fuck, they do just still lack that little bit of spark, that little bit of explosiveness at the end of plays. That's where when you're getting Phil Sami, Drinkwater, Watson, Metcalf, it's everything they're missing.
Oh, absolutely. And also, again, with Keon, he can be the game-breaking forward. That he has that in his repertoire. So I'm looking at it now. You're looking at over 200 tackles, I'm pretty sure, of a young forward pack where Pacifica is maybe 20, Toby Couchman maybe 20, Hamish Stewart maybe 20, Ryan Couchman maybe 20, Dylan Egan maybe 20 years old, over 200 tackles, and there was only 4 tackles missed. That's not even 1 per player.
Yeah, crazy. You've won a lot of wooden spoons. You must have been happy to see the Dragons get up.
Oh, come on, mate.
Wow.
Low blow.
Holy.
Low blow.
Wow. And Manly are falling out of the 8 too. That's pretty risky.
Yeah, pretty embarrassing, mate. Yeah, cop that from the Eels on the weekend. This game was a grind. I thought both teams were really bad until about the 60, 65-minute mark. It was a poo slinger by the very definition of the phrase. Who was going to kind of crack first? Unfortunately, it was us, and then Val Holmes did have a very good end to the game, got a couple of tries, got him over the line there. I'm not happy for them, Roo, to answer your question. A lot of free advice coming from the fans on the oval there at Cogra, but hey, that's the game. That's all good.
Must be well educated on that hill.
Super smart.
So much learning.
Smartest podcast in the game.
Yeah. When are they going to start using those lessons would be my question. But anyway, it was tough. It wasn't good. There are a couple of good standout performances. You touched on the Couchman boys. They've been outstanding. Pacific Tonga, though, obviously there was a little bit of tension with him at the start of the year, trying to leave the club, all that sort of stuff. I thought he was unbelievable through the middle there, just really rolled through us quite a lot. We were pretty poor in the middle of the field for most of it, but he is just an enormous man and put a big dent in us and kind of gave them a bit of a chance and just kept going as well. Late in the game, he kept going and gave them something to play off the back of.
I tell you what, you look at this young forward pack and really there is there's no missing piece of the puzzle. Obviously Keon Cumming is great. And also I think with Pacifica, with him, another really good example of, and look, this is no knock on Flano, he's won a premiership. He's But sometimes certain players just suit certain coaches. And for whatever reason, it wasn't working for Pacifica Tonga under Shane Flanagan. Dean Young comes in. Like, he was this close to leaving the club.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, and ironically, what's funny is like he gets brought in, and he actually did have parts of his game where I was like, I can understand why he hadn't been selected in first grade. But then Dean Young has come in, and just for whatever reason, his ability to communicate to Pacifica Tonga has just got the best out of him. He's been like his improvement from his first game this year to now. And so I think it's a really good example of, it doesn't necessarily mean Flano was wrong. It just sometimes certain players suit certain coaches. And because as I said, you could make the argument after seeing Pacifica Tonga come into that first game going, listen, I kind of see where the first grade was coming from. Like, there was a missed tackle here, missed tackle there. But at the same time, you can see where the young fella was coming from is like, I just deserve a bit of a backing, and I'll show you what I can do.
You would never argue that they don't need Keon in any way, shape, or form. But like, I remember when they first signed him at the time, thinking, "Oh my god, that's the best thing they could have ever done." Now you're looking at it going, "Fuck, he's going to be a nice addition to this side,"
which is crazy, absolutely
unbelievable.
Crazy. What do you reckon, Tommy Bomb?
Yeah, I think like this is probably my most exciting watch in terms of teams for next year. Probably like most people, Kempy, but I think firstly, Dean Young has to be your coach. Like what he's built there in terms of, we've spoken for the last 12, 18 months about these young guys and whatever. But that win on the weekend, like they had less ball, they had a lower completion rate, they ran for less meters. Like they made more errors. Like they just scrambled and they hung in the game. And the thing that excites me the most, like Rui said before, we've spoken a lot about the guys that are coming in on top of Keon, right? Like I argue that their left side, and Val Holmes had a great game, but that's where most of the excitement happens. And most of the time it's off the back of Gutho. And I would argue that he's just like a competitor and he just wills his way into creating things for them sometimes. Like when you throw in some of those other creative guys, like a Drinky, Metcalf, Watson, like I think we're going to see so much more out of some of the guys that are already finding ways to create points for them on top of a pack that's going to be more experienced. I love the idea of Keon playing more of like an explosive impact role, because actually I was chatting to someone yesterday and they were sort of saying that they reckon that there's a chance that Keon will just sort of go backwards there because he doesn't, like he's earned his money and he'll just, none of those guys that we just spoke about are going there just for a payday. Like this is an exciting opportunity to be coming in. Someone like a Metcalf, like he was on his way to a Dally M last year before he got injured. Lot of a point to prove, and you're not coming in to push it uphill now. Like it's such a good opportunity.
I also think with the Keon situation, like there are a lot of clubs that would have paid him $800,000-900K. It's not like you know the reported $1 million that he's going to get at like that's for a top tier front rower that he is, in my opinion, when he plays in the front row. That's a normal price tag these days. Like I don't think we associate $1 million with front rows anymore. But when you actually go across the board and you look at AFB, so it's not like he's getting paid fucking $2 million to go there or something.
No, that's right. And like I would also argue that once upon a time, he might have been going in, like, not that long ago, like Rue was saying, like he's going in there to be the guy. Whereas now, like it's almost more exciting. Like I would argue now, especially with how much footy Cam Murray's missed in the last like year or so, for a lot of that, he has been the guy. He has been pushing shit uphill. He's been the guy that's having to fight tooth and nail to just even keep them in games. Like if that's not the case, you're just a senior player, but you can lean into like what we sort of, or what I remember him for coming through, which is more having that attacking upside and a bit of flair. And if we can see that come out even more so, like it's going to be such a good watch, and their fans deserve it, to be honest. Like what a turnaround from the start of the year. Like you're watching going, what a fucking basket case. It's so far away. It doesn't feel like Dragons being right up there again is that far away now. You know?
Well, I will say as well, like I haven't been, and I say this respectfully, I haven't been excited about a Dragons team in like quite a while. I've always been like really interested, always looked at them and said, grindy, tough team that can upset you, and that is something to be impressed by. But I've never got the vibe of like we're swinging for the fences here, like we're really going all in. Probably, maybe even since Mary McGregor, really. What I like about it is like they're swinging for the fences now. Like they went big in the market. They got big game players that will swing for the fences. Scotty Drinkwater, Luke Metcalf. Like when was the last time they really signed a guy of when was the last time they signed the caliber of signings that they've signed, plus also have the best young forward pack in the comp, maybe outside of the Warriors. But you know what? if you took all those young guys and started them in the Warriors side, and you took all the young Dragons guys, like I reckon it'd be a pretty even match, to be honest.
Take it a step further. When was the last time you were excited about watching the Dragons?
The style of footy they play, yeah, for sure. They've
It's
to
been
me,
years.
they've always been the team that's punching above their weight.
Yeah.
Which is you want to be that for a little bit, but not all the time.
I mean, even when they won a comp in 2010, they were boring as batshit to watch.
Yeah.
Like they're making their brand entertainment now.
Yeah.
They're leaning into the young guys they've got. They've signed the right fellas there. They've already got a lot of the right guys in the building. I mean, on that topic, and I know we'll talk about this at the end of the season and whatnot, but like, does Gutho make this side next year? Where does he fit?
I think it'd be tough. I think
Is-
he'll be
is he
there for
centre?
leadership, if anything. Maybe
Is he
centre.
Phil Sami coming. You got Moses Sully. You got Val Holmes. I don't know if he is.
So you'll have Setu 2 just extended.
Yes. Yep.
So you'd assume that he's probably got one wing spot. Tui Pelotu is there as well.
Yep.
Moses Sully, Val Holmes in the centres. Yeah, like it's
Phil Sami.
Phil Sami as well. So Phil Sami would probably be ahead of Setu 2. Sorry, maybe Tui Pelotu.
He'll be one wing.
Yeah,
Phil
he'll be
Sami.
definitely one wing.
The other wing, I don't think you could pick Gutho as a winger over Tui Pelotu or
Could you go?
Setu.
Could you go him as a 14 maybe?
I reckon. I was going to say, Kempy. I reckon you might see that he becomes our first ever player where, in this new format, he becomes a guy where they say, "Listen, obviously, there's always been yarns about his body breaking down or whatever. You're such a senior player, leadership. He's such a good trainer. Like he wins a lot of their con. Like bring all that. Your first drop on the bench, but like you're going to sort of
But they've-
preserve him.
They got Connor Watson.
But I think they'll use him regardless.
Yeah,
he's not
yeah.
there for cover.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I don't think you will see Gutho get used off the bench through the middle, but like say like 18th man, 19th man every week. I can't see them making him play cup. I
Well,
reckon.
what's weird is like I still do think they need Gutho's leadership around the joint.
Yes,
because
sure.
like you've got Keon coming, but is he a verbal leader like Gutho? I don't think so. He's more of an old show by my actions. Scotty Drinkwater, similar. Luke Metcalf, similar. Not. I mean, he's only played 50 games or whatever. I still actually think they do need his experience, but you're right. Like he might be one of the true in the squad every single week for his intangibles that he offers off the field. I tell you what, he got absolutely grilled under the fire. Like Riccio, the first questions, I thought, okay, he'll stop there. And then Riccio went again and was like,
stop,
I was
eh?
like, oh shit.
I thought Gutho handled it really well though.
Oh, he handled it great, but I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that second one was, I mean, that's what a journalist's job is, I guess.
But that's like I actually watched that and thought, well, this is what you want journos doing.
Yeah.
I'm sick of fucking all these press conferences where it's lollipop questions.
Yeah, yeah.
You get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
And I thought both of them actually handled it well. I
Yep.
thought.
But yeah, it's really, really exciting. And I will say this as well, having known Dean Young when I was down at the Dragons for a short period, he won't let Keon come and take a step. I'll tell you that much for free.
No.
There's no, especially as a forward, Dean Young is old school, but in the good way. Like he's not old school in the sense that he doesn't know how to communicate or whatever, but he is old school in the sense that like it's team first, no shortcuts, no bullshit. He won't let anyone come there to bludge, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
what is Clint Gutherson's contract?
I think it's 29.
Yeah,
Could I be
right.
wrong? We'll check just quickly.
Yeah.
I think it's 29. No,
'Cause I mean,
28, sorry.
The other
28.
side of the coin is, based on how Gutho was talking
End of the
other day,
2027 season.
Oh, 27. Okay. So
Okay.
one more year.
One more year.
Yeah, okay.
But like what I'm saying is like Roosters aren't going to let like a Rodwell or Bulldogs wouldn't let like a Mitch Woods or a Conti just sit on the six-man bench and not play for an extended period. They drop him back to cup because they need reps. Like at Gutho's stage of his career with what he's done, I don't think you'd do that. And with HIAs and injuries, if he's first drop next year, I think
Well,
he'll get enough football where he
Actually gets on the field because there's a lot of because a lot of HIAs, a
enough
lot of
to sort of maintain because he's a gun trainer. So I think there is a good chance that like you were saying, Kempy, they just go, we need your leadership around training on game day. Bring like a level head.
Because the
bring
thing is
energy.
this, he's not going to be fullback next year. Scott Drinkwater will be
No
fullback.
way.
And you'd have to assume Atkinson, Metcalf is 7, Atkinson is 6.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
So maybe Gutho 6.
Yeah, could he get a role at 5'8", maybe?
Maybe, because I would say, although Atkinson has improved it dramatically, I would say I'm not as sure that, like, he's not as sure to keep his spot as these other guys we're talking about, in my opinion.
So could Gutho and Gutho's played
Comparatively
six
speaking to
early
what Gutho
days,
can
right?
play. Sorry?
Gutho did play some six in the early days. Like I don't remember him ever having that as a position.
Yeah,
I think he
I
played,
think he played a little bit. Obviously, he played a
Not
lot of
heaps.
fullback. His ball playing is decent. It's okay.
But
So maybe 6. Maybe they'll train. You know what? They'll probably train his body for a role as 6 because that is good depth at the very least. Like let's say You know, you've got Atkinson and Metcalf. Metcalf has a history with his injuries. And then you go Atkinson to 7, Gutho to 6. Obviously, Flano will still be there, I'm assuming, as well. So, yeah, maybe 6 is where they see him at.
Because you assume Metcalf walks in, don't you?
Yes, yeah, I think so, for sure. Sloan I think it's official, Super League.
Yep.
I think it's fair. I will say it's one of the great what ifs. I would have loved to have seen Sloan at another club in another system, because I do think that, you know, yes, this last generation that was at the Dragons, yes, they need to be held accountable for how they've played. I get all that, but there is an argument to be made that these guys were the best of the best coming through, and the development at the Dragons prior to this current batch hasn't necessarily been great.
No, it hasn't. And yeah, like he had opportunities to go elsewhere, from what I've been told. Chose to stay at the Dragons. So yeah, it would have been very interesting to see how it could have played out if he would have gone somewhere. Because I mean, you can have all your question marks around Tyrell Sloan. The one thing you can't question is his talent.
Yes,
His
yes.
fucking raw ability there is insane. He's going to do some bad things in the Super League.
Oh, my God. He will score so many tries. Another guy we haven't even spoken about, Halangahu, who maybe 2 years ago was the pick of the bunch.
Yep.
The pick of the bunch. So, look, incredible times for Dragons. I love the way they played. And also, I love the fact that, I think it was their first try, it was just confidence footy. It was, the ball was kind of going all over the place. Back ourselves, throw the long pass, throw the spinner, throw the offload out the back. You're seeing a gritty side that's adding a bit of adventure into their footy, and I really like that. All right, on to the Tigers.
Oh, boy.
Okay, on to the Tigers. I'll just go straight to you. Where did it go wrong for the Tigers?
Why don't we start with where it didn't go wrong? That might be shorter.
Okay.
Look, this was just, with the exception of Adam Dewey.
Maybe Terrell.
Yeah, but I'm just talking more around kind of like attacking threats.
Yes, okay.
We had a lot of territory. We were down in their end a fair bit, but outside of him running the footy, there really wasn't much doing. I mean, he obviously scored the try himself in the first half, grubbered for himself in the second half. Great finish, but no one else was chasing that grubber. It was just him. So there was a lot of just side to side, you know, a bit of a lack of kind of options or threats.
That's the thing. And I don't want to be too crucial because he was one of your best players. But that has been a critique of Dewey before, where individually he can play really well, but his ability to guide a team over a long period and like create space outside him sometimes can be lacking.
Yep.
Yeah, I reckon before he got injured this year, though, he
found a
doing
perfect
way
balance.
better job of finding
Way
a
better
balance.
balance.
And the vibe I got on the weekend was that he took it into his own hands because he had to. That's how I watched it. And I also thought it was so funny when he
But
scored.
you could argue even last week. So it's been how many weeks now that you've scored?
Last week it was just the one try against Newcastle.
And last week, he definitely fell into some old habits last week where he was overplaying his game a little bit.
But I thought it was really funny when he scored that try, crazy effort, and Gutho was blowing up that they couldn't tap. And he sort of looked at the ref and said, why even bothering checking this? Like, we're meant to be going. Then
you know what's crazy about that try? I just sound like a hater, and I'm not a hater. Why did they only look at one angle and just go, boom, try? To me, I want to see another angle of that try.
Adam Dewey's one?
Yeah, I really do.
You reckon they learnt from Friday night when they showed the one of Jenkins' try where there was separation from the front on
apologies
angle?
if I'm misremembering, but they were quick in calling that a try. Anyway, small thing.
Maybe they was desperate to award a try in this game because it needed one. So that was, outside of him, there wasn't much, that we kind of threw at them. Stafford Toll made a big break at one point, sort of early in the second half. Could have maybe taken the tackle and it would have been fresh set down there. Yada, yada, yada. He threw the ball back inside to Jock Madden, didn't quite hit the mark. That was probably our only other opportunity to score any points on Saturday. But super disappointing, given where we were at the start of the year. There was a bit of a vibe, there's a bit of momentum building, but we're a long way from that now. That obviously the injury to Api Coruscant, that really hurts as well, heading into the last 8 weeks of the season. Because without him, we've been, even with him in the last few weeks, we haven't looked great, but without him, we've been desperately short of kind of attacking options. So, yeah, it's pretty grim at the moment.
Where's your head at with Buller at the back? Because, he is supposed to be the creative type fullback that creates space for people and does all those things. Where is your head at with his form the last, I'll say, 4 weeks?
Yeah, he's been a little bit quiet, I'd say, post, extending. So that's been a little bit interesting. To give him a bit of a chop out, maybe there has been a lot of chopping and changing in the back line. Some of the faces have stayed the same, but they've swapped them in and out of different positions. You know, we spoke about it in the green room before, Taruva playing centre quite a lot. He's a great winger, centre, maybe not as much. Stafford Toll played on the wing, for a chunk of time on the weekend as well.
How is Toa on the wing? Like, he has been an out-and-out centre for so long.
Yeah, very strange. Don't know. So, yeah. Just the mixing and matching, the lack of continuity, even though, as I say, some of the faces are the same, but just moving them around too much. I think maybe we're trying to outthink the room a little bit.
Because it was your right edge that had multiple tries down it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
right edge.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I think, first of all, with Buller, I like that he had 19 runs, but I do think, and I know there were some Tigers fans that, didn't like that we said this, that we felt like he faded in and out of games, but that, that's just my opinion. I do think that when you sign a big deal, you have to take that step up to, you're no longer like, you have to be one of the main men every single week. And so let's say Dewey is, going after the game and trying to make things work, but he's not really creating space. Then if you're on, let's say, $900K a year or whatever, you've got to make things happen rather than being really good at supporting other things happening kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't know. I kind of feel like there is constantly excuses made for Buller. And he's in the early parts of his career. He's played 71st grade games, but for me, once he gets to that 100-game mark, I can't hear any more of the excuses.
Because his contract is about $900 to $1 million a year.
It's a lot of bicky.
Like, that's top tier money.
Yeah.
As a fullback. And look, the weird thing is like, I know Tigers fans think that we're blaming him for losses. We're not blaming him for losses. We're saying he has more in him, and we would love to see him go to the next level as a player.
Yes, because he's got the potential to do it.
Gun, absolutely gun.
Hence the contract.
Yeah.
Hammy, I don't obviously consume as much Tigers Benji content as you would. Does Benji explain it all during the week or press conferences about how he picks his back line each week? Like, is it sort of not really spoken about? Because I kind of feel like this back line is almost pick out of a hat every month or so.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's definitely very
musical chairs.
Yeah, that's what it definitely feels like for sure. I mean, he's pretty good at kind of putting a positive spin on it, or kind of answering it without answering it too much. This is what the team needed this week, or we had to think about a matchup or whatever. But I'm with you. I just like to see guys like Taruva, Skelton just playing the spots that they're best at. Stick him on the wing. So to have him mixing and matching, and sometimes like on the run or in game kind of swapping as well, it just feels a little bit too cute at times. So don't really know what's going on there.
Do you think the Makasini thing, like him playing centre, how much of that is about the high ball? Like,
yeah, because early in the season they tried him on the wing.
Yeah, and he had a couple of games.
And
where it
they
wasn't
targeted
great.
him. There was a game at Campbelltown one night. They really went after Adam Reynolds went after him with
Yes.
the high ball, and it didn't go so well. To be fair, we've had a few other guys come in and similarly get targeted with the high ball, and it hasn't gone that well. But he's come through as a centre. They've thrown him in there, but as we've spoken about a bit, Kempy, like when he's in the centres, they just seem to physically target him, go after. Like
Another HIA.
Yeah, some massive hits, and he did again on the weekend. So it's a tough one. He's clearly very talented, but he's only very young, and whether they play him on the wing or in the centres, there's always one way they're kind of going to go after him. It looks like teams have done that a fair bit this year with pretty good success.
See, I won't go over my opinion on it again, but I don't know, with the amount of impact he's had on his body in a first year of footy, like multiple HIAs, shoulder issue, I don't see this as, if you're looking at a guy that's going to be your superstar for the next decade, I don't think his first year's been handled correctly, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. In regards to some of these other stuff, I do get the feeling that, look, not that Benji's too easy on the boys, because he's clearly, he speaks harshly of the boys when they have a poor game or whatever. But I get the feeling at the very least that maybe there is a degree of allowing corners to be cut at times by the side. Like these small, in the top tier sides, there are small non-negotiables. And like 1 week you see the Tigers and you go, they did all the non-negotiables. Like they were all locked in. But I feel like, are they harsh enough on themselves week in, week out to say, no matter what, doesn't matter who got out, injuries or whatever, we're not going to have these cut corners? Because I do feel like there is a little, like, it's almost like the downside of being a new age coach. Like you lean all the way into being a new age coach where you're understanding, communicative, and there's so many positives with that. We've seen it with Benji and some other coaches like Kieran Foran or whatever. But the tiny kind of downside sometimes is if you're not harsh enough, you get mid-season, and when things aren't going your way, you start to see the cracks kind of appear that might have, the exuberance and the energy that got you past it at the start of the year, they don't get you past it in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just it does feel like sometimes there are players taking a little bit of shortcuts on the field.
In 12th place, Hammy, is Appy the nail in the coffin this year?
Well, it doesn't look good, does it? Yeah. I mean, without him, we've been severely kind of flat. Especially with ball in hand. Even with him on the weekend, we sort of struggled a little bit. So definitely doesn't help. I think that makes life very, very difficult. Tristan Hope's filled in a couple of times there through the year. I wouldn't mind having a look at some of the young hookers we've got coming through.
Dave Bird won the other week, didn't you? Off the bench?
Yes, that's right. And there's also Jared Haywood, who's kind of like probably a little bit of a smaller body, but maybe I wouldn't mind seeing
What's read on Haywood? Like you just think they don't think he's ready? Or?
I think so. I think he's just like probably needs another preseason or two to put a bit of size on. However, playing some good footy in the Reggies and the Magpies are going pretty well, so might be worth having a look at him. But yeah, Appy's a big loss for us.
Yeah, I think Appy's the Appy injuries, red Sharpie stuff for me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The Tigers.
Yep. What do you think of the Tigers, mate?
Yeah, I mean, the outside back thing is confusing. I thought that Alex Twal, obviously being back in this side, he adds a lot. I think they're going to take time to find that a really nice dynamic going with him, Dewey, obviously Luai when he is there. That'll take time again. I still struggle with the Buller thing. I do think there's an aspect of it it's just an awkward dynamic to find. I think that is on him, though. Like, I do agree with you guys on that he needs to take responsibility for that. But I think they're really going to miss Appy. Like, I think that is just going to expose a lot of the other holes. And if Jareem doesn't step up, it's just another key, if not your most key spine member gone. In the whole Benji thing, like, I think there's probably an element of what you were saying, Kempy, but it's hard because he's also, when you do take a step back and you look at it with like a lens of like the last 2 years, 3 years, he has got them looking so much better. Like, they
absolutely.
are so much better. So like
Yeah.
a lot of young guys, even the guys we're talking about here, like Makasini, like he already is starting to look so good. Like he's going to be an absolute superstar. Like, is he 19 yet or is he 18?
I think he's 19.
19.
He's 19,
yeah.
like so young. Not that I'm saying that they would do this, but hypothetically, is there a rule around like if you play a number of NRL games, you can't play flag anymore?
Well, you want them to send him back to flag?
I don't want them to send him back to flag. I want that very clear. I'm just saying, imagine like if they were just like, mate, just go enjoy your footy for a bit. Don't worry about like. Could you not do that?
I think Cup's the place to do that.
Cup will definitely be what they would do if they
Yes,
were to do
yeah,
it. I'm
yeah.
just saying hypothetically. Is there a world where if you're a young Jersey flag winger for South or some shit, all of a sudden you could end up marking Makasini? Like, are there rules?
I think he's beyond that.
You got to get
No,
Cup.
no, he's going Cup. I want that very clear. I'm not saying send him back to flag. I'm just saying, are there rules where like if you play 5 NRL games, you can't
I
play
have
flag?
no idea.
Because that would be a fucking bloodbath. Not that
It would be,
happen.
yeah, you got to,
Not-
definitely got to
You
go
go to
back
Cup, obviously,
Yeah.
but
Just back on the Buller thing, just quickly, just so you don't think we're crazy. In the last 5 games, he's had no tries, no line breaks, and 1 try assist against the Titans. And so that for me is like, he's better than that. Like,
Yeah.
he's not the reason you're losing at all. But mate, Buller's a gun.
Yeah.
He's a gun.
I'm with you. A little bit quiet at the moment. What do we make of Jerome Luai's cryptic Instagram post over the
Oh, really? What was it?
weekend? It was another anime cartoon. Which
Okay.
We've seen a few of these over the years.
Okay.
A guy with a man bun.
Oh.
Or girl, not sure. Someone with a man bun. Smoking a dart.
Okay.
Hands in pockets of the hoodie. The song playing over the back is Burma Boy, who I believe is a rapper out of the UK, I believe.
Yep.
Don't come in the
I
comments.
think it's like reggaeton as well, or something like that.
Yeah. The song is called I Told Them, and he's got an emoji over the top with a zipper mouth emoji. What are we reading? I'm not super familiar with the song.
When was the dropping of the post?
the dropping? Was
it directly after
I
the-
think it was just shortly after the game on Saturday. So, stood down with delayed concussion symptoms. There'd been a bit of chat that with him out there, there'd been not as many points or tries laid on. Maybe it was to do with a comment on that, perhaps.
okay.
I don't know.
that would be crazy if that was true. That's what they'd said, though.
Yeah.
I feel like the last
No, but
month
the fans have been saying about Luai.
Yeah, not me, Because when he put Titans a couple of weeks ago, he's got a hat trick.
Yeah.
In fact, when the noise has been there, he's kind of stood up the week after.
The week before, he set up like 3 tries.
No,
he
but
scored
the
one.
talk, like you ask like some fans, they say he hasn't even been a good signing. Like some people think he's been a bad signing.
That is absurd.
Yeah.
That is-
Like, and they go back to his first year and they're like, look, he had no tries, but his whole role was to make Galvin the best version of himself, which he did. I don't like with Luai, you've got to understand, although he comes across as brash and all that kind of stuff, he truly is whatever the team needs, I'll play that role for them. So if you need me to be the guy that's scoring the tries or whatever, I can do that. If you need me to give Dewey the platform he needs, I'll do that. Geez, that's an interesting one though. But maybe it is to the fans that have been bagging him like,
Yep.
you know, I've
Which
been
again
out.
is not me.
It's not. Is it 2 weeks? Sorry, last week, the HIA?
Yeah.
What time did he get taken off last week, roughly?
Um,
Well, the first half, second half? I can't remember.
I'd have to have
Anyway,
it. Look, but yeah, he's had the delayed symptoms. So
Oh, okay. And I think it was at half time he went in and had the delayed Simpson, whatever. Anyway, interesting.
yeah,
Interesting.
That's
Okay.
wild.
So how did you read what he put on Instagram? the other day?
I was like, this is interesting. I don't know what to make of it. I know some Tigers fans were pretty fired up about it, but
I think it reads the Tigers fans have been talking shit about me for so long. You know, look what you're like. You know, you're better with me in the side.
yeah,
I can't believe that.
can't believe that
there's
was
been
even sort of in
argue
question.
otherwise.
He played the full 80 the previous week. Then he had the
Okay. Delayed ones.
later.
Okay.
Anyway, watch this space.
Okay. It's State of Origin time, one of the best times of the year. Boys, who are you going to watch with? I know you two will be together. The great Hamiso, he'll be back. Shandor's joining us
Back,
as well.
baby.
And also, we'll have a live show after the game is done on YouTube. But boys, there's an epidemic, and Jim Beam knows it is. In every group, there's always one person who flakes at the last second, the person who says they'll be there, but then cancels. Something's come up, whatever it is. Who is the flakiest mate in your group?
I think I'd have to nominate Kat Haddad this week.
Okay.
I came back to work last week. Then after about, 4 hours of working, said, I'm actually going to go back to America.
I have to talk to you about this. Might be our headgears.
Ah, yeah.
They might
It felt kind of weird.
They might be getting flaky. Or do we double down?
We'll see.
Time will tell.
Decision to be made.
Yeah, flakiest mate for me, got to be friend of the show, Sam Phillips. Flaking on a team every 2 to 4 weeks and changing teams. So Queensland's the one that he'll stick with, but there's been a few NRL and AFL ones over the journey. So
Yes.
he's the flakiest mate. I think we could all agree with that.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so don't let them remain a flake. Remind them footy's best enjoyed with mates and Jim Beam. So head over to Jim Beam AU on the Insta to see how you could best enjoy the footy together. A massive thank you to Jim Beam for partnering with Bloke. Alrighty, it's time to go to the next game. It is the Sharks defeating the Broncos 28-16. 28-16. One of the better Sharks performance in a while. I loved the energy they came with. I actually spoke about it before the game. Like, I know the Sharks can play, good, high quality, almost conservative-ish footy. I just wanted to see a bit of energy. I've seen it in the last couple of years, for example, when they went down to Melbourne and they had all those players out, there was this kind of extra energy of like, we can make a run. Now, granted, it is against the struggling Broncos, but I saw a bit of that on the weekend. I saw a bit of spite in them, a bit of that energy. Really good win for the Sharkies, for the Broncos. It is a disaster season, an absolute disaster. And I know, there are some people trying to hang their hats on, oh, we look better the last 2 weeks, but this isn't in a vacuum, guys. Like these, you can't just go, oh, let's just look at this individual game and walk away. This is 8 losses on the trot, 5 losses on the trot at home as well. And unfortunately, when we come back, we play the Panthers, where there is a world where Broncos lose like 10 on the trot, which is, I don't care how many injuries you've got, that's unacceptable. And also, we've lost against the Dragons, we've lost against the Titans. Go back and look at the squad we had against the Dragons and tell me how that happened. So really, really disappointing. I'll get further into it as we go, but thoughts on this game, Root?
Yeah, a good win by the Sharkies. I thought some of the guys in their forward pack, I thought Billy Burns was sensational in this one. He's been a really underrated signing for them. He's obviously bounced around a few clubs, Penrith, St George. He's landed there. Britt Nicker is playing for Queensland at the moment. For the last 12 months, he hasn't been guaranteed his spot on the right edge for the Sharks, which is crazy to say because I always thought he was one of the best right edges in rugby league the last few seasons. But Billy Burns, he's been tremendous this season. I would even argue, actually, time he's spent on the field in those games, he's probably been better than Teague Wilton as well. He's been unreal.
Mate, he's such a smart signing because he's another guy that probably could have ended up in Super League for a period there. And since arriving, he's probably on minimum. Like he wouldn't be on much. And you're right, mate. He's been perfect to come on the edge, come off the bench. Yes, every now and then he'll have a bit of a down game where he has an error or two. But mate, I'm with you. I think he's been phenomenal. And to go up there and do that at Suncorp, like I know Broncos fans will immediately, look at the people we had out in the forward pack. It's still got some pretty friggin' good. We've still got Willison. We've still got Jordan Ricky. Piacora is supposed to, he's a young gun that's coming through. He's a premiership winning edge back rower. I think a lot of people heading into this game, if you said, pick your edge back rower out of Piacora, Ricky, Burns and Wilton, I think Burns might even be the fourth pick for some people. Now, granted, I know there's Sharks fans that might pick him, but he was a standout on the weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And it just seems, I don't know, I feel like every opportunity he gets for Cronulla right now, he makes it count every single time. And as you said, he does, he's got errors in him occasionally here, but I don't think he's got that many more errors in him than most footballers in the game anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd love to see a stat has errors increased year on year kind of thing since the 6 again rule's been brought in. That'd be interesting.
Surely, with how quick it is.
Yeah, you'd have to say so. But he was phenomenal. He really was, and he's so deceptive too because it's not like he's that big or that that fast or whatever. But he just puts himself in the right position all the time. What did you think about this one, Tommy Bomb?
Well, I thought they were really patient, the Sharks. Like I thought they dominated field position in the first half and probably didn't walk in at half time with the points that should have reflected how dominant they had been. But I thought they stayed patient. I thought Nico obviously was running the ball with a lot more intent than what I reckon we've seen from him.
Jeez, forever. It feels like forever since I've seen that version of Nico on the footy field.
Which was exciting. But yeah, I think I'm a massive KL Iro guy, and it's interesting when you look at I've been trying to figure this out. I said to you boys a few weeks ago on the show, like Katoa and Ramian signing with the Cows together. Like we haven't seen that. I can't remember ever seeing like one edge centre wing pairing both signed at the same club. How much of that is like the Sharks are willing to let them go versus they've got a better offer elsewhere? Because when I look at it and I'm like, it actually makes sense to me that I personally, if I had to pick one of them, I'd probably stick with KL Iro over Ramian just because of how much work he consistently gets through. I feel like he's more reliable than Ramian, even though Ramian's had his moments over the last few years where he just
See, I think that, honestly, I'd even say that
obvious.
last year. Yeah,
I think that's...
was like one of the best centres in the comp until he got injured last year.
100% he was. So I can understand that. I still don't, and you might know better than me, Roo, but like, who's knocking the door down that you're willing to let go Ramian and Katoa?
Mate, I just think they've got salary cap squeeze within an inch of their life. Got
Someone's
Mulatalo.
got to give somewhere.
Yeah, Mulatalo is... I also think that this is... I think you'll see more people go as well in the next year or so. They've timed it till 27. A lot of people are off contract. And I just think that something had to give. They looked at Ito. They looked at their outside backs and it probably goes Mulatalo, Ito, Kennedy's on fuck all compared to other fullbacks, so you got to keep him.
Yeah.
So they were probably the first cabs off the rank.
It's just like, to me, their back five gets through so much work. Like their forward pack, like Hazelton, he ran for 146 metres and Jesse Colaquin ran for 128. Like the other guys in that pack, they're hard workers. You're always going to be in games. They make their tackles. They clean up a lot of scrap. Like their back five gets through a lot of their work though in terms of yardage. Like they're two big guys to take out.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Katoa had 169 metres. He ran for more than Kennedy.
3 tries too.
100%. Like Ramian was he ran for the least out of the back five. He ran for 102 metres. So like it's just a big out for me. Like I
just don't think they can afford it, bro. Like I think it's just
like
pure
I've just gone back to a random game in 2024. It's the exact same team. You can't be keeping the same team and finishing top 4 every year. So like prices go up, all that sort of stuff. Like
of course,
I think they've just managed it to this point, and now something's got to give, and they're losing that edge. They're losing Cam McInnes, but at least with Cam McInnes, you've got Colhoun there who's going to play a role.
Yeah.
Stone Street, he'll come in on one wing. The other centre spot is interesting heading into the future though, because Talakai and, name escapes me, the other centre they've got, they're both going to Perth. So they are going to have to go to market to find a centre.
Yeah, I think the lesson maybe Fitzy's learned over the last few years is that you probably have to have one or two of your outside backs, either a rookie that explodes on low money or a guy that just goes and does a job. And maybe you could argue, in regards to winning a comp, has their salary cap been too outside back heavy when you compare it to a lot of other clubs? Because right now, their outside backs statistically at their best essentially one of the best outside backs in the competition. Like they would rival Penrith Panthers when it comes to meters made and whatever. And I think maybe if Fitzy's gone that same money, I could probably put into my forward pack and try and get a young rookie just to do a job out there.
Which it might be like the opportunity that Mikey Gabriel finally takes to come into that side and play that role.
Yeah, my concern for them though is just like if all that makes sense, they've made a lot of prelim finals in the last few years. Obviously, prices are going to go up. I get all that. You've sort of built to this inflection point now though, where like you lose those two, and obviously the show goes on still, but I still feel like they're so far away from, and like it's weird because last year, like in that prelim final, a couple of moments go a bit differently.
Wouldn't that be an argument against your point? Because if they are still so far away, changes need to be made.
For sure, but I don't think they're the changes. Like, have you ever had a conversation about the Sharks in the last 3 years where you've gone, oh, geez, I don't know about their centers and wingers? Like,
yeah, but I think that more points to the fact that they're so outside back heavy. They need to put more money into their forward pack because that's an area where I do think they need to improve. And I think Colquhoun, his performance on the weekend, only recently has Fitzgibbon gone, oh, maybe he can be a middle guy, a 13 or a front rower. I think that if I had to guess, and I don't know for sure, I think it's more, no, we would love to have those outside backs. But, Wayne Bennett's age-old thing is he pays his wingers the least, and he just relies on young wingers to come through and do really well. All the money needs to go in the forward pack, and I think Fitzy's probably looking at that going, AFB's been great, but he's at the end of his career, or not fully end, but closer to the end. He needs to go out and get a couple of front rowers or forwards, I reckon.
You think they go to market elsewhere? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe there's a guy coming through. They got that big fella. He's a massive unit. He came off the bench.
Not Tarapa. Definitely not he. Say his name. I apologize.
Tapuhua. Hal Tapuhua.
Yes.
He's massive. He's a big bopper that they might need to upgrade. I do think that he's probably looked at it and said, A, they've priced themselves out, but B, this formula that I have, it's not working. So maybe tweak it a little bit.
Because I just struggle so much, and this isn't fair because they had a good win, obviously, but I struggle so much with them. Where do you go from here? Because they've actually been probably one of the most consistent sides in the last 3-4 years. But to go to that next level, like people always talk about the halves, the dynamic, is it the fullback? Like, who are you going to bring in? Like, we're talking now about them bringing in more middles. Like, I don't know. How do you take? Because they're actually like last year they were so close, and yet they felt like I never actually felt like the Sharks could win a comp. You're talking about guys like Billy Burns, and even seeing like how Nakura's developed over the last few years, and the whole culture change over the last few years has been amazing. So I'm like, what is that next step?
Yeah, that's the challenge for sure. I think that you'll see probably some movement over the next 12 to 16 months. But in regards to this game, I thought Colquhoun was outstanding as well.
Yeah, he was fantastic in the finals last year when Cam McInnes got injured. He really stepped in and played a role for them there, and he continues to do so. I think you said a few weeks ago maybe him as a front row forward.
And I was kind of sure of it, but I wasn't like fully like this is going to work kind of thing.
I think like in hindsight though, it is one of those, I don't know, for me personally, like when you suggest that, I sort of went, I don't know if he's got the size to do it. Like you look at the Curtis Morans of the world.
Yeah, it's just different.
It's just changed.
Yeah.
It's just,
and that's why I was like, okay, like Toby Rudolph, he's a good serviceable player, but is he a starting front row for a premiership winning side? Probably not at this stage. Now, he's definitely a first grader, definitely in your 17. But if Colquhoun can, jump out of his skin, first of all, it makes that conversation much easier in regards to edge back rows because now you're almost stacked. Like when Nikita comes back in, Billy Burns probably goes back to the bench.
Yeah.
If Colquhoun, isn't a 13, because Cam McInnes will be there for the rest of the year, where do you fit him in? But I think long term he's probably their 13.
Yeah.
But if you can play him at 10 at a pinch, and also they've got that, isn't Harrison Hassett, can he also play a bit of 13 as well?
He can do a bit of everything, Harris. I can't believe he hasn't really kicked on yet. He sort of gets a mention on this podcast at least twice a year for the last 4 years. Like he's talented. He just hasn't quite been able to put it together. So hopefully Fitzy can get something out of him. But I agree with you. I think there's going to be a lot of movement there at the Sharkies over the next 12 months. But yeah, I think the biggest takeaway out of this one, boys, for me is what you mentioned before. Just Nicho Hynes. He just looked ready to go in this one.
Yeah,
looked like a different approach to me.
And funnily enough, it was one of the rare games where Nicho Hynes has 2 try assists, but Braden Trindle also has a try and a try assist. Like we've been begging for this moment of like both players playing really good footy. Now, did Trindle play as good as maybe a couple of weeks ago? No, maybe not. But it's probably one of the first performances where I've gone, 6 and 7 could have either made team of the week this week. That's how well they played. So I really liked the performance from the Sharkies. And, you know, to be fair, like they're not playing the same Broncos that we saw 4 or 5 weeks ago that were just a basket case. They're playing a desperate Broncos that, yes, they're missing players, but still a desperate Broncos at Suncorp. Like crazier things have happened. And you look at their season, and although I'm still, you know, I guess agnostic as to whether they can win the comp this year, more in the I guess lean more towards they can't, but agnostic, they're still sitting 6. They got 9 wins, which is 1 win outside the top 4 essentially. You know, you can't be too critical.
No, and also like to Nico's credit, like when he's run first, it's so exciting to watch. And I feel like
he came through as a fullback, really.
Of course, yeah. And I like it's been 4 years now, and I think that's something that Jerome Hughes has done so well. And maybe like if Nico can fully lean into that, like I feel like I've never watched Jerome Hughes. I mean, like he's too head noisy about directing the team around, and like he's so much more instinctive than he is a traditional 7. And I think that's one of those things where it's just that's okay. Like if that's who you are. I think sometimes given who his halves partner is as well, maybe Nico just psychs himself out of just playing that natural game a little bit. But like
I think last year as well, he was dealing with a calf injury for a lot of the. Was it last year? I think it was last year. It was a calf injury that he was struggling from.
Nico?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
It was last year. So I think that rattled his confidence a little bit. But yeah, he was great. He was really, really good. Alrighty, on to the Broncos. So anyway, like in regards to the performance, yes, it was grittier. Yes, it was tougher. Yes, we are missing players. But I've got to say, like, I understand why Michael Maguire needs to keep a very vague press conference, you know, because it's a huge club. You know, I get all that. He's trying to reduce the amount of headlines. But I do feel like at some point, you know, I do want to come out of a press conference with some kind of insight into what he thought went wrong. I don't want to every single press conference just hear the boys are working really hard. You know, you should see them at training. You don't know what goes on behind forward walls. And like at some point I want to hear an insight. And also like if you say that in the last 2 games, I could be like, okay, they did try a lot harder, all that good stuff. But it's 8 games in a row that we've lost. Like I need some kind of insight as a fan. And I get it that there are other shareholders of the game and of the club, and the Broncos are a publicly listed company? They are, aren't they?
yeah.
I get it. Huge, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But also, your partners in the club are fans as well. And if this goes on longer, you know, once you get the fans offside, it almost doesn't matter what the media says. That pressure just ramps up. And I would like to see more. Look, I don't need Michael Maguire to go into like, you know, X's and O's of how they lost or whatever and give away any game plans. But I do think the fans deserve just a little bit of an insight of like, what do you think's going wrong here? You know, what's going on?
Yeah, I wouldn't be holding your breath.
I know. Yeah. It's every single week. It's just the frustrating thing for me is like no one believes that even you believe that match. Like no one believes that you walk in on a Monday and go, boys, loved your effort, tried really hard. And like, you know, they did try hard, but they had 4 play the ball errors, I think, in the first half. Just unforced play the ball errors. Like maybe try hard and effort is you know, we all have different interpretations of what that means, but mental concentration for me is part of trying hard. And that is either a team that is so fatigued mentally that they're switching off, or they're not locked in enough and they need to lock in more in regards to what they're doing. Because there were 2 try-scoring opportunities where we were down their end where we just dropped the ball. And so, yeah, it's just a disaster season. Like I can't express it enough, really.
Yeah, and I mean, I sort of find it hard with Brisbane, unless your name's Xavier Willison, to find too many positives at the moment.
Like you debuted some guys that don't actually train full time, which is great. They've been battling away for their opportunity, which is awesome for them. I love to see that. That's a real feel good story. I will say, like even little things where he's like, oh, you know, I've got this young team that's going to learn a lot. They're going to take a lot of lessons out of this year. It's like, mate, we're not in the lessons learnt business at the moment. The Broncos, we're in the win a comp business.
Yeah,
like,
win a comp.
Yeah, like I want to hear that from a team that's rebuilding, not from the current reigning premiers about learning lessons for next year.
But yeah, you can also rule out like it definitely isn't. They're not locked in enough because by default with who their coach is, like it's a pretty safe bet that that's not going to fly. And they just look fatigued. They just look like they're just and mentally fatigued. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to question a team's effort, but at the end of the day, like it's NRL. Like the effort's going to be there.
Yep.
It just looks like the way I watch them at the moment, they physically aren't capable of what is required.
Yeah.
Which is like, well, that's not a lack of training. We know that. So it has to be mental.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Hey, can you just quickly check for me, how many reserve grade games has Moser played this year?
Blake Moser.
Yeah. Just because as soon as he came on, we looked like a different footy side. Like, and I think that's a real area where it feels like Mike Maguire's been very reluctant to give 7 in a row up to this point. Like,
No, he played round 1 to 4, then he played 11 to 13.
and then didn't play any footy between 13 and now.
Didn't play cup, so no.
Interesting. Well, maybe it's injuries that has kept him out of the side, but we need to give him more game time. And yes, okay, you might say, well, Corey Pakes is a better defender in first grade and all that kind of stuff. And yes, you can argue in favour of Madge. It's like Billy Walters is injured. Moses missed quite a lot of footy this year. But as soon as he came on, we looked a million times better. We had some front foot, flat footy, getting out of dummy half, just asking some questions around the ruck, where unfortunately for Corey Pakes, he definitely deserves to be in the side. He's a gun, but we just need some more creativity around the ruck.
That wasn't Moses' first game back, though, was it?
No, as in like from injury.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't know.
I think he's played the last 2 or 3 weeks in first grade, but still, there's like a month there that.
But he didn't come off. Has he played on the field?
I think he's
first
played
grade?
the last 2 weeks, hasn't he?
Okay. Did he come on last week?
I thought he did.
Okay. Fuck, I can't believe I'm forgetting that.
Roost's game was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Played
come off the
26 minutes.
Okay, fair. But yeah, anyway, I just think that now that he is back, we need to get him as much minutes as is reasonable, because he does create stuff around the ruck.
That and I know it's early days still for him, but fuck, it's a weird career arc so far. Like the hype around Moser.
Oh yeah, for
the
sure.
The position's been there, but he hasn't been able to grab it. Maybe it's mostly injury affected. I don't know, but it's just been strange to watch.
Yeah. I got to say as well, an issue for Madge, and look, I don't know this for sure, but it almost feels like he has to recruit. Like, his reputation is so strong now for it is the hardest you'll ever train in your life. It is the hardest 12 months, preseason, whatever in your life, that he's almost having to recruit on players that will get through the preseason rather than players that can win your footy matches or are good at what they do. Like, he almost has to sit there and go, I can only recruit a certain type of player that can get through the preseason. That's almost, because it seems like with our recruitment push, like we do, it seems like we're not that attractive in the market at the moment.
Yeah,
At all.
yeah.
At all. Like, I reckon it's like the complete opposite. It would be the premiership team, if you look back at the entire history of rugby league, it's probably the most unattractive to current players in terms of, like, it's crazy that you have to talk about the fact, you add on the extra layer that it's the Brisbane Broncos, that you have to try and move heaven and earth to convince guys not just to come there, but even just to stay.
Yeah. And so, like, I feel like now when we go out into recruitment, we've got, it's hard enough as it is in today's game because everyone gets signed on long contracts on big deals, but we have to contend with, like, not only do we need to find a gun, we need to find a gun that's willing to go through the hardest preseason of their life.
Yeah, and I love the Gagai signing, but, like, he's going to be 36 years old when like he's 36 January 3rd.
I love the Gagai signing. I think he's absolute legend of a player, but it is telling that the Knights were like, we've got guns coming through. We love Gagai, but he can't fit in our top squad. Because that's, to my understanding, it was the Knights were saying, no, we're good. And yet we don't have enough guns. We can fit him in our top squad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I like the signing, but I would love to be in the position where we have so many guns we actually can't afford to sign him, like the Knights are in.
Yes. Yeah.
I know we've come at this from every single angle throughout this year, but, like, I would love to know what the player response at Brisbane would have been had you guys lost a grand final or a prelim, like most people would have expected last year. Like, is the playing response, fuck, we got close, we just need to buy in here fully? Or is it the same fallout
honestly,
that we've
I
seen?
think history suggests that, like, it is just hard to train at this level for long periods of time.
But
regardless of how much buy-in you have, like, it's just hard.
like most people, but I mainly compare it to his stint at the Rabbitohs, right? Where it took 3 years. And each year before they won the comp, they went very close. Like, I wonder how much this comp's worked against him because they've gone, fuck, we did it, but this is absurd. I'm done.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Broncos, Hammy?
Yeah, my thoughts on the Madge thing is, I yeah, I think the style and the way that he coaches, it's got a very short kind of shelf life, particularly in today's game. However, he's done what he was brought to the Broncos to do, which is win a comp. So perhaps, the style of the opportunities that he goes after or is presented with from here on is like, we've got a good team on paper. We're pretty close. We need a bit of a hard edge for a year, 2 years to try to get us over the line. I think it eventually does wear people out. So that's probably where the Broncos are at. And I'd say, look, if it all goes pear-shaped from here, or if it keeps going the way it's going and they end up parting ways, whether it's next year, whatever it is, it's a tick.
Yeah, absolutely.
He came to the club, he won in his first year. So, I think the longevity of it is not really there these days for that particular approach. But when you look back on this little period, he's done his job. So, yeah.
And guys, the NordVPN defense play of the week was Trindle's incredible tackle on Preston Ricky. Unbelievable stuff. Absolutely jammed him, forced an error. It was also at a crucial moment in the game. So that is our NordVPN defense play of the week. And if you actually go to our show notes, we have a link in the description that if you get the 2-year deal, you get 4 months free. And I was actually overseas before the season and used NordVPN myself. Sporting events, TV shows, movies, you name it, I watched it like I was back home, which was super convenient. Another great feature is that you can switch your virtual location to so many different places in the world. This allows you to save money by purchasing flights, hotels, subscriptions from other countries at a cheaper price. It's also super safe. NordVPN provides you with privacy online, leaving no digital footprint by hiding your IP address. It's like wearing an invisibility cloak online. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/bloke. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan, and there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. And the link is in the podcast episode. But yeah, it was Trindle's incredible tackle on Preston Ricky. Absolutely jammed him. Now, in regards to just the Broncos, before we move on, just wanted to give a shout-out to the blokes that made the debut. Apparently, both of them don't train full-time, and anytime they're asked to come in, take days off work and that to train, which is just incredible. So that's Luke Gale and Joshua Corrick, I think it is. And yeah, came on, worked their backsides off, which is great to see. And yeah, can't wait to see the boys more.
A little bit of other news here too. Canterbury playmaker Matt Burton will leave Blues camp after Ethan Strange proved he had overcome an ankle injury.
Okay. But yeah, anyway. Another, Shibasaki's fall from gun is just been mind-blowing. There were moments where, there was a try that was scored where he just almost was just like, I'm not going to try and grab that kick over the top. Was it Nico Hines creates a line break. They get down the field and then someone chipped it. I don't know who chipped it, but they end up scoring. Katoa ends up scoring. I can't believe, honestly, Shibasaki at the moment is struggling so much that he might not get a contract at another club at the moment.
I was about to say, you say his fall off has been the same as his rise. He sort of just came from nowhere for years, Shibasaki, to that one unbelievable season. He was great last year, but I do still think there was moments last year where you could still see a lot of this in his game.
Well, you saw the grand final.
If Reece Walsh doesn't come up with 3 unbelievable defensive plays,
he's a villain.
People are ready to kill him. That's the reality of it. But I think as well a very good narrative can take you along. On the Kangaroo tour last year, I remember, I posted the team that I picked with Bradman Best at centre, and man, I couldn't believe the comments on there. How could you leave Shibasaki? Yeah. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, he's a free agent at the moment. I haven't seen him linked to anyone but Perth.
The thing that sucks is he is so good. He's got so much potential.
But he always has.
It just, I don't know. Yeah, so, I mean, even the ever-consistent Grant Anderson struggled. I can't remember the last time I saw Grant Anderson have 12 runs for 74 metres. He's usually up the top of the metres. It was good to see Dean Mariner back. But, yeah, it is truly tough times. Unfortunately, I thought Ito really did take it to Stags and won that battle. But, yeah. What else is there to say? It's been a devastating year. Absolutely devastating. Okay, on to the next game. Eels versus the Sea Eagles. Eels versus Sea Eagles. Let's get into it. What an incredible win from the Eels. What an absolutely outstanding win from the Eels. And just when you thought they were out, like, hasn't that been the kind of like pattern for the Eels this year? Is like every time you think they're out in the canvas and you look at all the injuries and you go, you know what, like they kind of have so many injuries that I can understand it. They get off the canvas and they do something like this. The Eels now have more wins than the Brisbane Broncos. Incredible win from the Eels. Just when you think they're down and out, they find a way to get the job done. Yes, the Seagulls their ball handling and errors was terrible, but the fight that the Eels showed was outstanding. And this was the Volkman show for me. And he's actually, him and Dylan Walker win Aspley Mazda Service of the Week. Volkman and Dylan Walker's pass. But yeah, Ronald Volkman, his resurgence at the Eels has been incredible. And although Pezzett was solid and he kicked the field goal, I actually think and granted they're different players, but I think he kind of showed why he is the second best half at the club right now. That's how good Volkman played.
Yeah, I think he was my man for a long time, but I think he's been stolen off me just quietly.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously I know Ronald quite well and played with him at school and knew he had so much potential. And the knock on him always, Kempy, was his size. Like I've told you before, but I remember us watching at lunchtime, you reacting to his highlights from school.
You'd never told me this.
Have I not told you? I
No.
must have told him 1,000 times.
Uh-huh.
I remember wigging out, watching you on the locker room react to it, and we were all wigging out, being like, "Holy shit, this is crazy!" But you would hear people talk about him when he started playing flag and bit of cup at the Roosters or whatever, and people go, "Oh, but he's small, he's defense, whatever." And I thought at the Warriors he was starting to make inroads on it, and then obviously the whole injury thing happened and that whole shit show. But he's really found it this year in terms of showing what he can do with the ball. I think the defense thing, it'll just come with time. You know, if guys like Sam Walker have been able to just develop it and just show a jersey, I think his upside is definitely worth it, especially alongside Mitch Moses.
Yep.
But yeah, the Pezzett one's interesting. It was good to see him get it's probably been a very frustrating year for him.
For sure, injuries and everything as well.
And the reality is there was so much anticipation about him, and that's sort of been completely plateaued by the fact that he hasn't been getting picked for this side. The whole conversation on Jonah Pezzett has completely changed to what it was 12 months ago when you hear people talk about him. But I think it was good to see him get some minutes out there.
Volkman, he is dangerous when he has ball in hand.
He's crazy.
Every time he is coming to the line at speed, he's up there with some of the better attacking sixes in the comp when it comes to that nervous energy you get when someone really good against your team has the ball. He has that. The footwork is crazy, and his pass selection has been great too. His defense has improved.
I think it's improved a lot. I think there was parts in the early parts of the season, like we spoke about on our show, just going, fuck, you can't be missing 8-9 tackles. I think the other thing as well is he's still missing tackles, but I think his scramble has just improved. You can just tell he's hungry at the moment, trying to prove a point. I think he knows that there's a jersey available next year, there next year, and I think he's got his fingerprints all over it at the moment. So
his stats are a try, 14 runs, 130 metres, 29 post contact, 6 tackle breaks, a line break assist, 1 offload, 30 tackles, 2 miss. That's friggin' pretty good for a half.
Yeah, I think he was 27-3 last week as well.
Yeah, mate. So he's getting targeted and he's still finding a way. But also, this is a team sport. Not everyone is the perfect athlete. So if you've got this incredible attacking half, then it's your edge back rower and your center's job to protect him. Tony Carroll was next to Darren Lockyer to protect him. And so that's why, although, of course, you want Volkman to continue to improve like he has, at the same time, a good coach will identify, listen, I reckon a bad coach goes, Volkman, put on fucking 6 kilos, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that you miss 0 tackles and you become the best defensive fucking 7 in the competition, or 6 or whatever. But guess what? That takes away from what he's actually really good at, which is incredible footwork, his speed off the mark. And so I'm excited for him. He's a special talent. And there are very few players in the comp, out of all the players that play, that genuinely can create something from nothing. There are role players. There are guys that go out there and work their backsides off. They're mentally tough. But if you were to, what do you reckon? There's 30 players in the NRL that truly, when they have ball in hand, can create something from nothing. 30, 40 maybe? That's not when you consider, 400, 500 NRL players at any given season. It's rare. It's not easy.
The other thing, though, too, can be that 2-3 missed tackles the last couple of weeks. That's down from, as Rue said, 8 or 9 at the start of the year. The other thing I've always said, I remember saying earlier in the year that I was excited to see that first time that he got to play as a 6 for Moses. The way he's been used the last couple of years, he would normally replace Moses if he was out with injury or state of origin. He was still playing as a 7. He was also the lead, like he was the halfback in the leading cup side for the Warriors for a couple of years, right, when they were dominating. And it's even watching him there, I was like, he's always been to me more of a 6 because he's a great runner. Like you've seen his footwork and what he can do, but the other thing we haven't seen heaps of yet is he's got such a low center of gravity. He's so
like Milford, to
stocky
be
and
honest.
strong. He looks heaps like what Milford did when he was at his best, and he's so much more nuggety than what I think people would realise, and he's so explosive and strong. So he's got a lot of ways that he can beat you, Ronald. So yeah, it's been so good watching him.
Hammy, walk us through Dylan Walker's flick pass. My God.
Yes, that was delish. Defied gravity. I didn't know which way he was spinning. It hurt my head looking at it, to be honest with you, but it was glorious. Put him over. Important moment in the game as well. He's played well for the last couple of years. Even when he was at the Warriors, he was outstanding. But he's continued that form on. He's one of the most important players at the Eels, I reckon.
Is he the best 14 of the last 10 years?
Ooh, maybe I'd say like 3 to 5 years.
I think last
5
3
years.
years, without a doubt, he is.
Yeah.
Last 3 years, yeah.
Mate, he is, so what, 10 years, 2016. So what, was Luke? Yeah, Luke Lewis should have been rolling around. Okay, we'll go 5 years. But what I guess my point is this. He is one of the best 14s I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how much he impacts games.
Yep.
But
Absolutely. Remember, probably would have been about 2016 as well. Laurie 1.0 picked him in that 14 role. He probably wasn't quite ready yet. Everyone was like, why'd you pick him? These days, you fast forwarded now and he kind of filled that role for the Blues. But I get it. Like he does it so well. He's done it so well for the last couple of clubs that he's played for. But yeah, that pass that he threw on the weekend, just out the back as he's spinning the other way, he timed it perfectly because any later and it goes forward or misses the mark. But yeah, it was an unbelievable
I think as well
seed.
with him, like he is truly one of the rare players that is so good at his specific role. He actually is a better player than other players that start over him. But he's so much better than everyone else at impacting games. You can't stop. It's almost a little bit like Spencer Lenny to a degree. Like Spencer Lenny's role at the Panthers was so specific and so good. Now, I would say Dylan Walker has had this role for longer and has impacted more. But you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit like that where like it's hard to find a guy that essentially every single week comes on and makes his team better. And he does that.
Every single week, yeah. It's good to see everyone enjoy the flick pass so much. That's sort of stock standard in mascot.
Oh, my
Flair, confidence. That's just a
my
Tuesday
God.
for us.
My God.
The other thing with Dylan as well, though, Campy, to your point before, is that he was playing this role before this role was really a thing again. Like he was good enough at this role during the wrestle era that teams would still use him in that role. You know what I mean? Like you've obviously seen the emergence of guys like Connor Watson since, but Dylan was tough enough defensively, and obviously when he came through initially as a center, showed that he could hold his own in the middle, even when you didn't have the speed to make up for the fact that you're not that big of a body.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you had said, 10 years ago that he's going to be a middle, a 13, you would have said he's way too small to be a middle. But anyway, that's the service of the week, guys. Your car man, Luke, is also your finance man. Jet skis, motorbikes, caravans, you name it. Lukey can finance it. Any deal, any budget, L credit, welcome Australia-wide. DM Lukey and get it done the easy way. And of course, X Rentals, new cars, used cars, whatever you're chasing. And it is ending very soon, guys. If you buy a new or used car, right now, mention Bloke for an exclusive price, and you not only get the best deal, but you could score a Brisbane Broncos corporate box experience with Jaral Yayi, Alex Glenn, and myself, and Luke will be there too. Plus, Alex Glenn, because you'll be able to bring a friend, will bring you and a friend, and he'll take you down into the Broncos dressing shed. So make sure to give them LDC_01, give him a follow and a message. He's the best in the business. A massive thank you to Ashley Mazda.
Before we move off Parramatta, apparently Dill Walker's signed a contract to go to Leeds. 3-year deal over there.
Surely it's just because he gets a big deal. Because
I hope so, because fuck, there should be a lot of NRL clubs offering him a big deal.
Mate, I'd love him at the Broncos. Imagine him on our bench.
Or the Tigers on our bench.
Yeah, like there are so many benches and squads. I don't know, he might struggle a little bit with Tigers.
Yeah, you guys suck. 100 bucks to make the eight.
In regards to some other guys that played really well, I thought Jack Williams, was really good. I got to say, Talon De Silva might be the most frustrating player in the history of the game because he is so talented and he has the talent to be a premier number 9. But some of the brain explosions and errors that he makes, like for example, he goes down a short side, the game's on the line, he goes down a short side, throws a forward pass to Sam Rani. Like the short side's like 8 meters. And he's got like Volkman have an absolute blinder there, Pezz's playing solidly. But then at the same time, you know, he comes up with good shots in defense. And also I do think that if he isn't there, the creativity around the ruck, they would actually miss quite a bit because he is so creative. It is so bizarre to watch. There is a star there. There really is. He's just got to somehow get rid of the errors.
I always say my favourite sort of rugby league player is like a goldfish. They've got a bad memory. Not out of dummy half. Not out of dummy half. It happens so much with talent. And he is so talented.
He's a gun.
Insane.
He's a gun.
Fuck. And you know, you get these moments with Mitch Moses screaming him on the field and everyone feels a bit sorry for him. It's like, well, we're now a year into this. It's still happening. If it's happening on a Sunday afternoon, imagine how much it's happening at training.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's almost like he's already in the mold of Appy that if he is going to be in a team, he needs to be the main man because he is quite talented around the ruck. I still think that we've got to be patient with this guy. He's 23, 24.
Yeah,
he's still really young, especially for a 9. There's so much talent there. So much talent. There really is. And I think that, you know, they went into this game with a spine.
He's 21.
21. Like, it's plenty of time. There is, like, you know, so there's plenty of time. It's just, he'll do it. He'll do it. He really will. But a spine of Iongi, Pezzett, Volkman, and De Silva, like, that's a young spine. Like, I think Volkman's the oldest there at 24, 25.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah.
You know, against Fogarty, Walsh is obviously young, Tommy Turbo, and who was 9 for him? It wasn't
Simpkin.
It was Simpkin. So like, it's amazing. It really is. So yeah, as I said, good on to De Silva, but also not good on. Both good on.
You love how he goes after the game, but you can
I love it.
You can understand why he's taken years off Mitchell Moses' life. Yeah.
He will develop into a great 9. I have no doubt of that. It's just, yeah, the shaving around the edges that needs to happen. Because, yeah, he does some special stuff. Pez's decision, look, if you're a half, don't do that. If it's first tackle, don't grubber it through to score a try. But also, do grubber it through because he got it and he won the match with it. So it's like, it's cowboy stuff. It is gunslinging stuff. The guts of a guy to come back into first grade and on first tackle go, I can see a gap there. I'm going to take it and grubber there. Can you imagine? Because they just got a repeat set.
Huge.
Talon, according to the Eels website, he's also got one of the great nicknames too.
What is it?
Towel.
Towel.
As it's just short for Talon. Why would you list that?
I thought you meant like towel.
No.
I thought you said towel. I was like, I don't know where that comes from. Is there some kind of weird understanding?
Talon's his name. TAL is listed as his nickname. Like Thomas becoming Talon.
Look, rugby league players are not the brightest. You know, we tend to, we do our best. But yeah,
Surely
Pezzett.
with the last name De Silva, you could do better than that, couldn't you?
Yeah, surely.
All I kept hearing when you guys were going, he's got so much talent. I was going, talent to Silva. I was going
Call
all
him,
sorts
what,
of
so
places.
talent. You call him Talent De Silva.
There were so many things you could do with his name, and they've gone with Towel. It's bold.
But yeah, Pezzett, the guts. Look, it came off, so you got to give him credit. It came off. Because
Imagine love that too.
It's what you guys are lacking, really. First tackle kicks.
Rogue first tackle kicks. But it came off. He nailed it. He absolutely nailed it. So good on him. Good on him. And he's exactly probably what he needed. Confidence boost. I mean, actually, you know what? Does he need confidence? Maybe not if you're kicking on first. But yeah, he won the game. And I think that, you know, put aside the whole season for Pezzett, to come back and play as solidly as he did, I think that's a real tick for him, you know, because there has been a bit of talk around him and hasn't all been positive. And he's a part of a really important win for him. So good on him. Good on him. Katonga, also one of the most frustrating players in history to watch, comes up with like unbelievable, like honestly, should be in my team of the week, but then he has 2 errors after tries as well. Just, you know, and they've, you know what, I'll give Katonga a lot of credit and Riles. They actually have reduced the amount of times that this happens with Katonga. But he also had a really good game, but some errors.
Yeah, like I think, like when I always look at that Parramatta side every week, whoever they're playing, I always think, okay, between the edges of Kelmer and Pezzett and then Katonga and Volkman, like there's going to be so many missed tackles. There's never as many as I think there's going to be. I always think there's going to be a heap of errors. There's never as many as I think there's going to be. They still have these moments. I even I sent a mate a text when Katoga set up that try and went, fuck, he's really coming of age. His next 3 touches were all errors, every single one of them. But, for a guy that was unwanted by the Canterbury Bulldogs when they weren't going too well to come over to Parramatta, I think Riles is doing a really good job with them. And they have just got this weird hard underbelly, the Parramatta Eels.
Absolutely.
Some weeks they get off the bus and it's not there. It probably happens once a month or so with them. But outside of that, like even go back, like even in this game, mate, like Manly had all the ball for the first 20 minutes. I thought that left side could have scored 4 tries in the first 15 minutes. And I think against a lot of sides, Manly probably would have. But Parramatta just hung in. They just kept showing up with numbers on everything. They were missing tackles all over the place, but scrambling and making it work. I know they haven't got any huge signings or anything coming in next year off the dome anyway, but I'd be excited if I was a Parramatta Eels fan.
Yeah, I have seen some talk about the lack of excitement due to signings or whatever, but 6 wins, that's, there's the bottom of the 8 is 9 wins. With the amount of injuries they've had and they're at the depths of a rebuild, if they can jag 3 or 4 more wins, I just want to see them at full strength for half a season. It doesn't have to be full strength. You can have any injury here or there because that's rugby league. But, man, I'm excited for them. Once they can get everyone on the paddock, I am excited to see what they can do. I also thought some of the younger forwards coming through were great. So it was the big fella, Tuivati, who's been coming through slowly over the last couple of years. He's getting better. And also I thought Brown was decent, and I thought Matala had some good moments as well. I thought Iongi as well was outstanding. 231 metres, 25 runs, 5 tackle breaks, a line break, an offload. I thought he was really good and had some good defensive plays as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the other one deserves another wrap as well. We're giving him a few compliments this year. Sam Rani, for just what he's done this year from the injury. And I cannot believe, if I'm honest, I can't believe he's a starting centre at the NRL.
Yeah.
But every week when I now see his name there, I go, yep, he'll do a job.
Yeah. Well, he's probably locked into that centre right now.
I think he is.
Yeah. I think he's been great. I think he's been outstanding.
When you think about how much talent Brian Kelly has, and Sam Rani's locked in that spot, unreal.
Yeah. And look, maybe Kelly's spot is the wing because he's probably played his best
Kind of
there.
looking like
Looks
it.
better there.
Yeah. Okay. On to Manly. Before we do that, guys, don't forget Yui Verified. You have this. So basically, Yui have a new initiative called Yui Origin Verified, which puts New South Wales and Queensland fans through a series of verification challenges. Once you do the challenges, you give in a fan status, which is essentially a tier. We've all done it. Here are the tiers, and what did we all get? We got the Immortal with the diehard, the loyalist, the casual, the bandwagon. I got the diehard. Now, I say all this to say, if go to the website, nrl.com/verified, sign up. I'll tell you why. Because not only do you get the bragging rights, because they measure which state gets the most, but you have a chance to win many prizes, but one of the prizes is a trip to Auckland State of Origin next year. That is going to be historic, the Auckland State of Origin, and you have a chance, and it's totally free to join, guys. Totally free. So to pause the podcast, go to nrl.com/verified, get amongst it, because if you win that trip, my God, it'll be a trip of the lifetime. Plus, there's a bunch of other stuff that it also they're giving away as prizes. They've got exclusive rewards, prizes. Boys, where did you land? I've got the Die Hard.
Yeah, I was diehard as well.
Yeah, it was Die Hard or Immortal, can't remember. Don't
Immortal for me. Surprise.
Yeah, wow. Wow.
Not bad for Victorian.
Okay, on to Manly. On to Manly.
The Immortal from Canberra, living in Melbourne. Going for Queensland.
Born in Tasmania.
Of course.
Wow.
Even worse.
Wow.
Go Queensland.
Okay, Manly, completion rate, 65%. There's your problem. So that is one of the big issues. First grade can be a roller coaster, can't it? Because Joey Walsh, he takes an intercept and you go, mate, that confidence is just unbelievable. They go down and score or nearly score or whatever. But then game's on the line and you're throwing flick passes. That's where you again, that's the maturing of a young ball player coming in. It's like you pick your timing, you pick your moments. Even if it is the exact same thing in regards to difficulty-wise, it's as easy for you to flick pass as pass, it's just the optics around it that don't help the situation because, what happens is you've got teammates that also go that have just worked their ring off to get you that field position. Watch you throw a flick pass going far out. So a bit of a mixed bag for Joey Walsh. Now, it doesn't dim my excitement on him at all. He is super young. but a bit of a mixed bag.
I love this kid. I completely agree with everything you just said. I think the more just experience he gets, I think him being in this side. We said last week on our show, like obviously losing Luke Brooks hurts, and I don't think they're better without Brooks, but I think they're fucking different with this kid coming in. And I think long-term wise this season, I think it's going to give them a better shot come September. I think he's going to make a real difference to this side as time goes on.
If you could say there's like one thing in that half pairing, like Brooks, and it is flair and creativity, like the ability to throw that crazy pass. I'm excited. I'm with you too. Like I'm super excited. I will say as well, like, man, we've spoken about how like Pezzet's coming to the Broncos. We got Duffy there, and like it's all a bit up in the air. And who do we replace? Like Manly have under the radar signed essentially the best young 7 in the comp. Like, you know how hard it is just to land that piece of the puzzle? Like, for example, we got the Rabbitohs. What are we talking about? We're talking about the spine. We're looking even at freaking the Penrith Panthers, who are struggling with maybe the 6th there, and what happens when Cleary goes. Manly, under the radar to a degree, without much fanfare, have just gone, boom, locked him away, got him at the club. Like, that's a huge win, even though, as I said, it was a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, I think what does go in Manly's favour is that he's a local junior and whatnot there, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think he's going to be a genuine star heading into the future. And I think he's going to have these moments where he's going to go for the flicker, he's going to do this sort of stuff. But I think he's also going to have these moments where he takes that intercept out of absolutely nowhere. As I said, he was carving them up in the first 15 minutes. They just weren't able to get. I personally think that if they would have scored in that first 15 minutes, it could have been sandcastle sort of areas of Parramatta. I think they could have piled it on quickly, and I think they will over the back end of this season.
Yeah,
I think it makes Manly very exciting.
Tommy, what did you think of this one, mate?
Well, I think like in terms of Joey Walsh, I think you'd rather him be more of a cowboy that you have to sort of reel in a little bit, or that he learns from tough experiences. Because like at the end of the day, to your point, like Jamal's your compass. Like he sort of gives you direction and he gets you around and he does a lot of the kicking. Like you probably want that. And you'd probably rather have a guy who is willing to do it, as opposed to trying to get him to a point where he is willing to do it. Yeah. You're trying to pull him back a bit and find a balance, which I think is a good spot to be in. This forward pack just impresses me more and more every week in terms of like even just having guys like we spoke about over the last few weeks, what Nathan Brown's able to do and what he brings to this side. But even like guys that are punching above their weight, Kobe Hetherington coming back in, Bullimore, like I can't believe that I'm sitting here after that conversation we had after round 3 or 4, Campy. Like, they are genuinely going to be competitive at the back end of the year. It's unbelievable.
I'll tell you right now, Sharkies fans must be sitting here going, mate, we won and got pizzled into the core of the earth by you, and Manly got beaten by the Eels, and you're fucking...
I know it sounds hard. I want the Sharks to win. I'm a beach guy, Campy. I love Manly.
Manly just
I love
got beaten
Cronulla.
by fucking second last, and you're...
Yeah, but you know what?
Cronulla didn't bring him in the preseason.
That's also a great point. That's also great. But yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I'm fucking focused.
You know what I'm saying. I love
Cronulla should have had a top 31 squad as well.
Freshie chicken's better than the chicken shop that they got down there. So
no one gets some good PR with Tommy Bomb now, that's for sure.
He can be bought.
Easily.
No, I tend to agree with you though. I still do think they're on the lower tier of premiership threat this year. I am super excited. Actually, matter of fact, one of the try-saving tackles from Laiafi late in the game, I really like, because that's probably the one area with Laiafi that I think it's Laiafi that he's got all the physical attributes, but it's just the question. I don't know whether it's true or it's not true, but the question is like, can he do all the hard stuff, tough stuff? That's what makes Payne Haas so great, is he does all the hard, tough stuff. But I will say, like, I know he's just sat there talking how great they are. A really disappointing performance from Manly Seagulls, like incredibly disappointing performance. I thought the amount of errors they had was really poor. I thought Ben Travojevic, although he had some good moments, 4 errors wasn't great. I thought Tommy was a bit off as well at the back there, late in the game with that offload.
There was part of me that wanted Laurie Daly to sort of take a bit of a roll in the dice on Turbo and just hope that third up he'd be better, but he still really is just a long way off, isn't he?
Yeah, and he'll get there. Like, I think he'll build towards if he can stay on the field, but you can tell he is building towards something. He's definitely not the Tommy Turbo that we know. Not shocking by any stretch, but definitely not as.
But he's definitely, like, you could even say, I think there was a turnover at one point on the left edge. Maybe I can't remember who it was from Parramatta. Someone picked up and started running, and even the way that Turbo sort of turned and chased was just almost a nod to, I can't go 100% here.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I thought usually their outside backs are absolutely mammoth in carrying their ball out of there, and they probably weren't as good as usual outside of Lehigh Hopewadi, who actually ran for 261 metres, absolutely insane. But yeah, Garrick was relatively quiet meters-wise. Clayton, obviously, he got injured, but you know,
I think they both spent time off the field, though.
yeah,
I think
Garrick's still 66. So Garrick, let's just be honest, he was playing for a penalty.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
sent him for HI, but he's still got 66 minutes. Usually Garrick's up there, you know, running for a lot of meters. He only had nine runs. Usually he's a bit higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saab, I think he probably needs to get more work. He only had 11 runs, Saab, even though he had a great read and defense on the towards the back end.
That shot.
Wow.
That was a cracker.
That's a bone rattler. Yeah, so like just the completion rate, it just killed them. It absolutely killed them. And I think that they've just got to, it does still feel like they go into these lower tier games just expecting things to happen because they are such an entertaining, exciting footy team. And I think that there were many opportunities against the Eels where if that is against a top tier side, they ice the opportunities. Whereas I feel like sometimes they get a little bit complacent in good ball against the lower tier sides because they had opportunities, even with all these errors, they had opportunities to win this game or at the very least make it close.
Yeah, completely agree.
What did you think of Manly, mate?
Yeah, this is definitely a game you went into it expecting them to win, but just the completion rate was the big issue for them. Couple of guys who played well though, Lehigh Hopewadi, massive numbers across the board from him. Couple of big line breaks, and he's been excellent. In the Foz ball era, same as Burbo. One or two little missed tackles there, but I reckon since the change of coach, he's just got back to that the player that he promised to be a couple of years ago, where there's even a bit of like potential Origin chat.
I think it's what's surprised. Maybe not surprised because I know how talented he is, but just his ball playing. I've been quite like he's passing, but also line selection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's very creative on the edge.
100%. He's got all those ingredients that you want for a guy out there. So those two are probably the two that stood out for me for Manly yesterday. In amongst a little bit of a disappointing performance, but I thought those guys were good.
Just with Manly, where do we like? They're seventh at the moment, right?
They could actually fall out of the 8.
They could fall out of the 8.
Yeah.
Now, if they were to miss the 8 this year, I mean, where do you put it for me? Is it a failure of a season? Is it do you guide them off?
You suck him.
You say, yeah, of course.
You move on.
But like, where would you actually rank it? Like, if they do miss the 8, like based on how the first month went, to not finish last is an unbelievable achievement.
Yeah.
But based on the 10 weeks after that, if you miss the 8 based on the footy they were playing and just what's happened there, like you'd be pretty. Or if I was a Manly fan and they missed the 8 from here, I'd be pretty disappointed considering how well they.
Well, you are a Manly fan, so you would.
Of course, I am a Manly fan. I would be pretty disappointed, but it's a hard thing to place. Like they could finish 10th, and there's an argument that's a raging success. There's also an argument that's a huge failure because they were looking like a top 4 team for 2 months.
Yeah.
I reckon as much as I just went down on the entire Northern Beaches after they lost, I think Foz's reaction to the game tells you a lot about how he views it.
Yeah.
Because they lost this game that they should have won. And you could tell he was fucking filthy that it wasn't good enough.
There's almost a bit of bellyache about Foz. He was walking
Well,
around the box.
he completed his rite of passage as an NRL head coach. He blew up and walked into the back of the box, which means you're officially an NRL
That's
coach.
like an induction.
Yeah,
an
absolutely.
initiation.
They even teach you when you get your coaching certificate how to do it.
Which is important. Also, just quickly, you said Riles ball earlier in the show. Wouldn't it be donk ball?
Donk ball is far better. Yeah.
I just want to
They got
TM
donked.
that before anyone else
Manly just got donked.
takes it.
They got
donk
donked.
ball.
I like it. Print the hats. Let's go.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I would still say, just with the vision of this side and what they can do, I would still say let's say they finish 9th or 10th.
Yeah.
I would still say it's a pass because I'm like, we can see the vision forward. Whereas I couldn't see any vision, for many years. Whereas the vision here is we've got this young throbber in Walsh and Benny Travojevic. He's really hit his straps, and we've got Falau. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of questions that have been answered long term for Manly going forward. So I'd still say a pass.
Yeah.
But I am death riding them because the Hello Sport boys go for Manly. So I'm death riding them.
Yeah. I also I think like they could pretty much lose every game from here and we're still going to the hill, right?
No, well, they've got to make the 8.
No, they've got to be mathematically in the conversation.
In the last game.
I think I don't think it's the last game. I think it's like 2 weeks before.
Oh, it's their last home game. It's
Last
20,
home game.
26,
I think it's around 25, isn't it?
6.
6, okay.
They'd have to do a lot wrong for you not to be going to the hill.
But also,
That's what I'm saying,
I just like to put this curse out there. So last week on the Hello Sports show, Chili, a very good boy,
Yes.
dog. So he walked up and got patted by Tom, and he walked over. A very good boy. I just want to reiterate, a very good boy.
Great dog.
Great dog. Never done anything wrong. And Eddie pulled his hand away. And so Manly haven't won a game since he cursed his club by not patting a good boy. Just wanted to throw that out
Well,
there.
the buck does have to stop somewhere, doesn't it?
Yes.
So
I've seen some things in rugby league that, but that might be the lowest of the low.
What
And
dog
there
did
have
you
been
pat?
some people going, oh, how Broncos going? I say, listen, we may never win another game, but I tell you what, we'll always pat a good boy. I'll tell you that much for free.
Okay.
Are you a dog guy? You are, aren't you?
Yeah, I've had dogs. Mate, I grew up in the country, mate.
Right.
I fucking did. He's been out there.
Out there. The Gold Coast.
the
Hey,
shot.
Matty, does it look like the country or not?
Yeah, but Matty's paid to say those.
He's been bought like fucking. He's going to rag on
I can't
Sharks.
go, yeah.
Sharks get a massive win up at Suncorp. He's like, nah, they're dog shit. Manly
Well,
get pumped
they were
by
playing
Eels.
against the poo side, to be fair. You know what I mean? It's hard to judge. Like, Manly goes down to like one of the bravest sides in the comp at the moment.
Mate, don't take it out because you're about to lose Sam Walker, mate. Don't take it out on me.
As long as it's not to you guys, I'll be fine.
Okay. All right, on to the next game, which is Knights versus Dolphins. I loved this performance from the Knights. My big question for the Knights was, and I understand Dolphins are missing players, I get that, but they still, on paper, with the guys they brought in, are a good side. My big question for the Knights is I want to see this forward pack go against one of the more physical forward packs in the comp. And they did it without Trey Mooney was not in the side. Like, I'll read you the Knights forward pack here. This is how good Holbrook's going. Like, it is truly remarkable what they're managing to do. So their forward pack was Saifiti, who got 13 minutes. Then it was Dylan, obviously Dylan Lucas on an edge, McEwen on an edge, Matt Croker, 49 minutes, Harrison Graham in the middle there, Tyson Frizzell, Cody Hopwood, Thomas Cant, Lachlan Crouch. That is outside of Tyson Frizzell, and Dylan Lucas is a gun as well. But like, when you've got Jacob Saifiti only getting 13 minutes, that really is a rookie kind of forward pack.
Yeah, I think Tyson Frizzell deserves a lot of applaudance coming out of that game. As you said, Trey Mooney didn't play, Saifiti did his hammy 12 minutes in, did you say?
Yeah.
Like, the whole chat for us in the entire preseason was this Knights side the 17 is really good. Below that, they're in trouble, especially in their forward pack. To lose their 2 starting front rowers, and then for Tyson Frizzell just to step up, do what he did, the young guys off the bench. I thought Paul Harrigan summed it up best. He handed out one of their old boy hats after the game to one of the young front rowers, and he said, that's exactly what the Knights are. You're never going to beat us because you wanted it more than us.
Ooh.
Just summed up Newcastle.
That'll get you going.
perfectly.
Yeah, that'll get you going.
pure.
And they played like that. They really did play like that. I think that that forward pack went toe to toe, and they won the battle against a Dolphin side who, people will say, they were missing players, but I'll just read you out the forward pack for the Dolphin side, if my phone wouldn't stop overheating in this NRL app. So you've got Kafusi, who, you've got Jeremy Marshall-King, Francis Molo, who's been great, Lemuelu, Fini Fuaki, Morgan Knowles. That's in the starting pack each week. That's only missing Flegler, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, in the starting pack. Now, they decided Gilbert off the bench. They still had Tom Gilbert, an Origin player, coming off the bench. Like, this is still a strong forward pack for the Dolphins. This is absolutely outstanding. And what's crazy, this is how good Holbrook has gone this year, and he's actually, I think he's beginning to streak away a little bit in regards to coach of the year. If you give everyone their buys and you just look at how many wins are, they are sitting outright second right now. The Newcastle Knights. Spoon last year. I predicted them bottom 2. Totally wrong. It is amazing what they've achieved. Absolutely amazing. And for Dylan Brown to come to the club, and I've seen some people be critical and he's not playing well. It's like, he's the 7 at a club that won the Spoon last year, predicted to come in the bottom 4 by everyone, and they're second. What more do you want from your 7? Like, would you rather have your 7? Would you rather come in the bottom 4, but he has 2 try assists every week? He's been outstanding, and he did exactly. Look, they shit themselves in regards to the field goal, and so he took it upon himself. Go, wow, we've really stuffed that set up, but I'll still nail this field goal. Like, that's outstanding. That's why Dylan Brown is the battler of the week. He is the battler of the week because he came to the club under, what do you reckon, guys? The most pressure of any player in the comp?
Maybe ever in terms of contract alone.
Going into the most famous 7 jersey ever. Like, and I know it's been a long time since Joey played, but there's fucking a lot of expectation in that 7 jersey. On the biggest deal we've ever seen, and he's led this team to outright second on the NRL ladder if you give everyone their buys and you look at their wins. So he's the battler of the week, the Bushranger battler of the week, brought to you by Bushranger Power Equipment. Tough, reliable, built for hard-working Aussies and Kiwis who get stuck in and get the job done. But yeah, for me, it's got to be Dylan Brown. Even just to nail that with all the pressure. Like, it's one thing to nail it once you get everything set up and it all goes well for you. To nail it after you, as the 7, have stuffed up the set, that's incredible.
Yeah, first career field goal as well.
Yeah, last time was in SG Ball.
Yeah, wow.
Mental. Yeah, boys, Dylan Brown and the Knights.
I'd also appreciate any funny comments down below in the comments about Dylan Brown being the battler of the week.
Not necessarily a battler.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily battling in regards to finance and good looks, but battling for his teammates each week. That's how
he's done so well this year.
Yeah.
He's been incredible, Dill. When you think about, at the end of the day, like for Dill this year, for the amount of scrutiny he was under, a pass mark wasn't going to be good enough.
Of course.
He's had to be exceptional, and he has been.
They're second. The Newcastle Knights are second on the ladder right now. That is insane, bro. That's insane.
Wild.
Thoughts on the Newey Knights?
Look, I've told you this before, Campy. At the start of the year, I tipped them to make the 8, and my logic was, on paper, some of the guys that they've got on this side.
Are you going to bag them now because they won? Like
Potentially.
Yeah, okay.
Potentially. Just bear with me. You don't know. And I do it for content. You're there, GSC. You got fucking no idea what's going on. So my logic was some of the guys that they got on paper, if they just get a decent injury run, they might come like 10th. I can sort of sit there and go, fuck, I was close. Like, I thought they were no chance of getting the spoon based on the talent they've got. I never would have thought they'd be sitting second. Like, what this coach has been able to do with guys like Trey Mooney, who didn't even play, a forward pack where, they lose Jacob Saifidi. Even, like, Vince Crossland, he came through as a 7. The way he's playing at the moment at 9, like, these sort of wins that they've been getting, like, speaks so much to the character of the side. Because we've known for a long time that any side that has, Fletcher Sharp's come onto the scene now, but KP, Bradman Best, you throw in a Dill Brown, like, there's a lot of talent there, even a guy like Dill Lucas. But the character the other guys have brought to this side has been something that it's completely exceeded my expectations. And it's probably, we spoke about who are the contenders for Coach of the Year. I think it does have to be Holbrook.
Yeah, unless they fall off a cliff or whatever in the back end of the year, or Manly go on a massive run. I think at the moment it's Holbrook. I will say as well, like, not only did he arrive at the club that won the spoon, he had to make this weird spine work where we're all sitting here going, I don't know how this works. Like, where does Dylan Brown go? He's not an out 7. At the Eels, he tried it many times. It didn't work. And he had Mitch Moses to help him as well, which is even crazier. Then you've got, like, Sanders Smith. Is he an out 7 or is he a 6? And you got Fletcher. You know what I mean? Like, he somehow has made it work and suit their, like, it's amazing. It's genuinely amazing.
Yeah, and not only make it work, but it wasn't a spine that he signed in any way, shape, or form. It's just been put on him. I think the other thing, and I think this is the best thing he's done, to be honest with you, like, I think for the last 4 or 5 years, and maybe even longer, I don't think teams are scared of going to Newcastle anymore. I think now teams are getting on that bus just going, fuck.
Yeah.
This is going to be tough.
It's going to be a dogfight.
Yeah.
Because even the games that they've won last few weeks, like, it's been low-scoring affairs.
Yes.
So it's like, this is an absolute dogfight. So I actually would love to know also who is their defensive coach. Deserves a lot of, is it Brett White?
I think it's Brett White up there.
Deserves a lot of credit because their defense has been really, really good, like at least the last month or so.
On the Brown signing too, I remember when it happened, like, speaking to a lot of people who sort of, whether they are on podcasts or in the game, and they sort of said, look, I don't get it personally, but it's Peter O'Sullivan up there, right?
Yep.
They're like, he's your guy. He knows what's going on. As it went on and the season evolved, I had a few other people sort of question me, like, maybe, like, is this a sign that Peter's sort of had his time? That was the yarn. Like, people just couldn't understand the signing.
Yep.
But it has completely proven any of those people wrong.
Yeah.
Like, the way that they're playing, even the creativity of how KP takes over that role. And that's the other thing. They've got a certain style they play when KP's there, and they've got everyone. For most of this year, they haven't fucking had everyone. They've had to adapt on the run, and like, even the maturity to be able to let go Dane Gagai. And people sit there and go, how could you let Dane Gagai go? He's playing so well. He is. But the development of these younger guys, like you couldn't possibly expect Fletcher Hunt to go another year. Hey, you'll probably be in Cup unless there's an injury. Like, fuck, like he's your future.
Well, I think right now, like I would try to find a way to keep Gagai, but I think that their recruitment and coaching have got the runs on the board now to say, no, trust us. We've got this. We can make it work. It's phenomenal.
Gagai's not going to drop to Cup either. Like if you said to him, you'll be competing for a spot, he wouldn't cop that. Like he can get offers elsewhere.
He would cop it. He's a team guy, but you don't want him playing fucking Cup at the end of his career.
And he doesn't have to. Like,
but yeah, in regards to some big moments, the 40-20 from Crossland. So the game, it's 12-all with 8 minutes to go, and Phoenix Crossland nails a 40-20 from dummy half.
I think it's his third this year.
he's kicked a few this year.
They come out of nowhere a little bit.
What?
Yeah.
And again, that's just hard work. Like that is a very specific kick. That it's not like a kick that, because he would have come through as a 7. That a 7 40-20 is totally different to a 9. A 9 40-20 is very different. You've got to worry about the markers, obviously. Like that changed the game. Like, do they win without that? Do they have the field position? And then Fletcher Sharp makes a line break when the game's on the line, proving that he's a big game player. I actually think that, like, I know it's a bit out there, but I think he's a little bit like, I would have at least had him in the squad at some point for the Blues this year just to have some experience, because I do think he could be a game breaker in the future. He hasn't been called in the squad this year.
No.
Crossland.
Yeah,
No,
Sharp.
Oh, Sharp.
Sharp?
No, he hasn't.
There's a bit of chat about him pre-season, but yeah.
Mate,
No,
he is.
I think he was there game 2.
Okay,
I think he went up
apologies.
to the
In the
central
squad,
card.
like to
Yeah,
train
just
with them.
like
Oh, apologies.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
my
he did
bad.
go up there.
My bad. Well, yeah, he should be a part of the squad because I think he's a star. Being able to move in between 6 and fullback the way he does, it's amazing what they're doing. And I, as I said, it wasn't the prettiest win. And yeah, the Dolphins were, they refused to catch a high ball for some reason, which was bizarre. But they were gutsy. They hung in there and they won the moments they need to win.
Speaking of Phoenix Crossland, that is his third 40-20s, equal first in the competition 40-20s with Jamal Fogarty.
Wow.
One of the best boots in the game. And then you have a look at the other guys that are in this list with 2 40-20s, Cody Walker, Scott Drinkwater, Jake Clifford, Jerome Hughes. Phoenix is the old man out there. Not to mention, Phoenix also officially after last weekend, topping the NRL for tackles made.
Holy shit.
He's like the most underrated spine player in terms of the role he plays for his team. Like all the other guys, as good as they are, they've all missed games for different reasons where he's been a staple. A lot of the wins that have reflected what yesterday was, he's been one of the key guys.
He's also most tackles by, most tackles in the game, 690. Crazy.
Far
Equal
out.
with Hamish Stewart.
Far out. You know what's crazy is they actually still had more errors than the Dolphins and managed to find a way to win. Just incredible stuff. Some other performances. Mate, Greg Marju is just like,
Yeah.
I think he's averaging 220 metres a game.
He's basically pumping out toe numbers from the last couple of years. He's kind of probably taken that spot as the big meter eater. All the sexy stats. 96 post contact meters this weekend. Unbelievable. Didn't get a try, but he's the season he's put together with both of their wingers. To be honest with you, have been outstanding all year. Dom Young's been great as well, but another huge effort from Greg.
He
Marju.
spoke about it a few months ago, Greg Marju, about just how different his off season was this year. That Holbrook said, "You are this type of winger. This is how you train. This is what you eat. This is what you do." And he's, compared to Dom Young, they are polar opposite outside backs realistically. And he complimented Holbrook on how he's just let him be Greg Marju.
But he's absolutely correct. And this does my head in. I've had an issue with this for so long. Greg Marju is a power athlete. You don't want him running K after K after K. I want his anaerobic fitness to be really good, so his repeat speed efforts. And I want him to be as fucking powerful as possible. Because guess what? Greg Marju is never going to be the fittest bloke on the field when it comes to cardio and long running. But you would be shocked at the amount of coaches that still train outside backs the same way they train front rowers. It is bizarre. But he's Marju's last, 5-6 games. So Dragons, 245 metres. The Titans, 272 metres. The Eels, 216. Then he had a Barry Crocker, 146 against the Storm. Terrible stuff. The Dragons, 216. Then 226 against the Tigers. And then he just ran for 245, was it? 241. So he's averaging about 220 metres a game in the last 6-7 games.
How tall is he, but?
Yes, true. 177 centimetres.
Forget it.
So can't catch a ball. Can't catch a ball dropping. But yeah, he's been phenomenal.
You look at Schiller for next week.
5 tackle breaks, 96 post contact. Dom Young's another one. Like he has big moments as well, Dom Young, like whether it's a crossfield kick or a line break coming out of their own end. And I think that the Knights have the most long-range tries. Another guy I want to talk about, we've spoken a lot about, and I feel like he's stolen a bit of the limelight, rightly so, because he's so good. Dylan Lucas, but it's Jermaine McEwen. Mate, I think he has been outstanding when he's got the opportunity this year. He is aggressive as anything, powerful as anything. And I wonder whether, similar to Greg Marju, Holbrooks looked at him and said, you're a power athlete, so I'm going to make you as powerful as possible.
Just let him go.
Just let him go. Let him be hyper physical. We don't need him to be a guy that goes out and plays bloody, takes 50 hit-ups, but all of them at a 6 out of 10 kind of speed. He was outstanding on the weekend as well. He had 13 runs, 145 metres, 56 post-contact, 4 tackle breaks, 32 tackles. Again, Cody Hopwood. So he's been highly touted for quite a while as a front rower. You would have known a bit more about him. He's starting to get a bit more game time.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's starting to find his own. The other one, Lachlan Crouch as well, who's another one that's been highly touted out there. Like there's fucking good players at the Newcastle Knights. Like their cup team is just a lot of fringe first graders as well. There's a lot of guys down there between your Tysons Gambles, your Manu Leiluas, your McCarthy's, DeCourcy's, James Schiller, all these sort of guys that they're all can come into first grade and hold their own. It's a really well balanced squad.
And also, when you look at the catchment and how many guns come out of that area, if they can start to make it an attractive club to the locals, all of a sudden, I don't want to say it's the next Penrith, but there's a lot of good players that come out of Newcastle area.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing they have started to correct over the last couple of years is their pathways.
Onto the Dolphins. Look, they've won, 8 in a row, missing some players. I thought they were gutsy. I think that if you're just looking at it as a single game, yes, you could look at certain points and be quite disappointed. Like I thought Trey Fuller probably had his worst game in first grade in a while. He still ran for 179 metres, but just under the high ball, he got targeted a little bit, lost confidence, they were letting certain balls bounce, not just him, other players as well. I wouldn't be too disappointed though, like going to Newey with those players missing. I'm happy with, if you're going to lose, you're losing 13-12, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I tend to be similar. I think as well, I don't think every game matters the same amount to like with the Dolphins at 8 in a row. Newcastle at home Sunday afternoon, they're always up and about for those games. I don't look into it too much of the Dolphins. The amount of players they're missing, the Knights have obviously got boys out as well, but the amount of talent the Dolphins have to come back into this side, I don't know. I also personally, I don't know, as a player of your perspective, it's different, but I get a bit weird when teams are on these 8, 9, 10
I do
winning
too.
streaks.
Yeah. I don't like them.
I hate them.
Heading into finals,
especially coming up to finals, it's just waiting to have a hiccup, have a fall. And I mean, if we look back in 6 weeks and they've won another 5 or 6 games, and you go, geez, their hiccup was they lost by 1 point to another premiership heavyweight away from home,
missing 3 or 4.
I can wear that. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. What about Jermaine Asako, the second quickest 200 points in NRL season?
I'd say, incredibly impressive. Wild. Can you believe on that top 5 list, Joey's in there twice? He's a fucking halfback.
Yeah. And also, in an era where, the game was a bit faster back in his day, so I will say that. But the game there's a lot of points in today's game.
Yes.
Compared to, I'm not sure, I haven't compared back in those days, but I will say still, though, Asako, criminally underrated. Criminally underrated, Asako.
Such a good signing for Melbourne next year. They've nailed that.
Especially when we looked at Storm and we spoke about they've lost all these points because of Xavier Coates and Katoa being out. They're going to be adding a lot, guarantee a certain amount of points. In regards to performances, okay, I thought Schneider had some moments that he probably would want back. But again, I don't want to be too harsh because they're on an 8-game winning streak. They still play pretty well, compared to a lot of other teams, I'll tell you that much.
It's a bad result, but not a bad performance.
No, I don't think so.
Well, they're easy fixes too. They missed a lot more tackles than they normally do. You know what I mean? But some of their depth, not depth guys, but guys that are sort of further down the ranks, seeing Nafahu get another crack. Obviously, you're talking about Asako and him moving on, how good he's been. The goal kicking is one thing, but Nafahu in terms of everything else that you're going to be missing from Osako. Like he slots straight in.
I'd even argue like their kick defusal was 54%. If that's 75%, they probably win the game.
100%.
That's how minute it is, the change.
Jake Averillo as well, getting an opportunity again. Thought he had some nice moments, like ran for 174 metres. Kurt Donahue, big Kurt guy. Nice to see him get over as well.
He just doesn't stop trying, does he? He's always like there making stuff happen. Obviously had the try yesterday to draw it back level, and he was pretty fired up. But hell of a footballer.
Tell you what, looking at the current state with the Tigers, what they're going through right now, I actually think Averillo is going to be a great signing for you.
Yes, agreed.
Now at 700K, that's a different question because that's the reported figure, isn't it? 700.
Yep.
Like that's huge. But I think take the price out of it and you just look at what you need right now. I don't mind it.
Look forward to seeing him play centre 1 week, winning the next week, next season. Should be good.
Kurt Donahue, I thought he was gutsy for sure. Good to see him get the try. He did have an error or two in him though, which he doesn't usually have. But yeah, so look, hard to be too critical. Sebastian Sewer, what do you know about him?
Not a heap, to be honest with you. Sorry.
Okay. But anyway, look, yeah, not too much to be negative about, to be honest. Okay, now it's time for Face the Music, brought to you by friends over at Sportsbet.
We've got 7 games this weekend. We've also got Origin, the decider, on Wednesday, so I'll finish with that one. But we'll kick off with
NRLW's back as well.
NRLW's
Make
back
sure
as
to tune
well.
in.
Tigers
Big win for the Broncos.
Tigers undefeated as well. Go Tigers. All right. Back in the NRL, West Tigers, $3. They host the Warriors, $1.39 out of the 9th wonder of the world on Friday. See you guys out there. 5 mil of rain predicted and 4 degrees with the feels like of 0. So I'll see you guys out there.
Okay. See you there, bro.
I'll meet you there.
I'm going to go Waz with this minus 7.5.
Yeah. Bearing in mind the Tigers 13 plus them in New Zealand earlier in the season. Roo, over to you.
I'll go Waz head-to-head.
$1.39. Nice.
I'll go Tigers head-to-head.
Not like it. $3. Matty has sent me his. I'm going to go Tigers head-to-head as well for $3. And Matty has gone Warriors minus 7.5. What an idiot. All right. Dolphins, $1.59 host the Sharks, $2.37. 3.5 is the line on Saturday afternoon.
I'm going to go Sharks 1 to 12.
$3.45.
Give me Finn 13 plus.
$2.90.
Yeah, Dolphins 13 plus.
Yep, $2.90. Matty's going to take Dolphins minus 3.5. So will I in that game. Then we go to Canterbury. They host the Raiders. The Dogs $1.54. The Raiders $2.48. 5.5 points is the line.
I'm going to go. I'm swinging for the fences here, and like obviously great content. I'm going to go Raiders 13 plus.
$6.
Give me Bulldogs 1 to 12.
$2.90.
Give me the Green Machine 1 to 12.
$3.60. Matty's going to take this one to go to Golden Point. Okay, interesting.
that.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to go the Raiders 1 to 12 as well. Go the Green Machine. Then we've got the Roosters, $1.20. They host the Eels, $4.60. 14.5 points is the line. 7:30 on Saturday.
There's no value here, so I'm just going to go Roosters head-to-head.
Good content.
$1.20. Good content.
Great content.
Good content.
Vanilla.
Give me Parramatta with a start.
Yep.
Roosters 13 plus.
Roosters 13 plus, get you $1.74. Matty's gone the Roosters 13 plus as well. I'll just go the Roosters to cover the 14.5. All right, Rabbitohs, $1.98. They host the Knights, $1.86. The line is 1.5. Sunday, 2 p.m.
Ooh. I'll just go Knights head-to-head.
Yep, $1.86.
Knights minus 1.5.
Yep.
Another cash in 13 plus, please.
$3.90. Matty's going to take Souths 1 to 12 for $3.30. I'll take the Knights head-to-head at $1.86. Manly, they host the Cowboys. Manly $1.53. Feels a bit short, to be honest. Cowboys $2.52. 4.5 points is the line at 4 Pines Park.
I'll go Cowboys head-to-head.
$2.52, yep.
Manly minus 4.5.
Yep.
Yeah, Manly line, please.
Matty's going to take Manly minus 4.5. I'm going to take the Cowboys head-to-head at $2.52 as well.
Bracelet ball.
To bring us home, every content creator's favourite time slot, Sunday, 6:15 p.m. The Melbourne Storm, $1.35. They host the Gold Coast Titans, $3.23. 8.5 is the line.
I'll go Storm to cover.
Yep.
Give me Titans 1 to 12.
4:30.
Yeah, give me Give me the Titans line.
Yep. 8.5 points. Matty's going to go the Storm minus 8.5. So will I. Then Origin on Wednesday night. Just give me a second. My computer's loading. Queensland $1.55. The Blues $2.50. The line is 5.5 points. Also would love a player of the match.
Player of the match is Hammer and the Blues.
$26 for the Hammer.
Yep. And I'm going to go Maroons at 1 to 12.
I was going to say Blues. Jeez. Maroons 1 to 12 get you $2.95.
Give me the Blues with the start.
Oh, confident.
What is it?
5.5.
Yeah, I'll take that. And then player of the match, give me Cam Murray.
Cam Murray, $36.
Give me Blues 1 to 12.
Yep, $3.50.
And Payne Haas player of the game.
$15. Matty's gone the Blues 1 to 12, which is $3.50. He's gone Nathan Cleary, player of the match, at $7.50. I will take Queensland 13 plus at $2.75, and Harry Grant $9.50, player of the match.
Holy shit.
Go
Distasteful.
Queensland.
All right, that's us done and dusted. Give us a follow on the feed. A massive thank you to Sportsbet as always. Give Tommy one follow. Give Real follow. Have me follow. We'll all go fuck ourselves. Thank you.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.